featuring the Welsh Dragons and the inspired Danes.
They want to do this for Christian Eriksen.
What's greater than the latest rise of Italian dominance?
Beautifully done.
How about insurgent Austria? It's win or go home in the knockout round. The round of 16 begins Saturday. Wales, Denmark at noon Eastern on ESPN. Italy, Austria at 3 Eastern on ABC.
The SV Pod with Scott Van Pelt.
Here's the thing about people that don't have younger kids. You're saying to yourself right now, take the top off and drink without the straw. That is not an option. A child can't be trusted without a top on a drink because he or she will pour it all over himself. You need to have a secure top on the beverage.
Check out the SV Pod with Scott Van Pelt wherever you get your podcasts.
WING 1410 Dayton. Dayton's ESPN Radio. We're live. We're local. We're Dayton's ESPN radio station. Now, let's send it to the WING studios for Dayton's only local sports talk show. It's the Justin Kinner Show with Kev Nash, presented by Orion Sports Medicine.
All right, everybody, happy Friday. Welcome in the Justin Kinner Show with Kev Nash, presented by Orion Sports Medicine. My favorite day of the week. Kev, happy Friday.
Yes, sir.
Look at you. You got a little pep in your step.
It's Friday, bruh.
Again, happy Friday to everybody out there. I hope everyone has some big plans for the weekend. I'm excited for the weekend. The JR Memorial, which is it's a spinoff of the Buckeye Cruise for Cancer, going on at Indian Lake this weekend. I'm pretty excited about that. A lot of former Buckeyes going to be there. Bobby Carpenter, who's going to be joining us coming up an hour from now at 4:00. He will be there. Cardell Jones will be there. It's open to the public again. This is all done to help raise money to fight cancer. $3 million. The Buckeye Cruise for Cancer last week, Kev, it was a little different. It was a Buckeye Land Cruise. Keith Byers was there, Bobby Carpenter, Zeke Elliott, a lot of former Buckeye greats. And they raised $3 million. Man, $3 million. So it was slightly different. It was a land cruise as opposed to the regular Buckeye Cruise. But it was still the same effort, the same passion, the same goal, which was to help raise money to fight cancer. And I just thought that was a really cool thing when they talked about how much money they raised coming out of a pandemic, where people over this past year were trying to think for themselves, to fight for themselves a little bit. It was cool to see an event like that where right away people are right back to, all right, let's give back to others. Let's give back to a common goal, which is to help fight cancer. But the JR Memorial is out at Indian Lake, and that is really cool. It's the same concept again. The goal is to help raise money to fight cancer. A bunch of former Buckeyes there, diehard Buckeye fans there, football fans in general. Really cool. I'm excited about that. That's tomorrow at Indian Lake. So it's
absolutely, man. That's something that everybody can agree on. Cancer sucks. Out of everything that people argue about left and right, from religion to politics to sports
to Browns Bengals to
absolutely everybody says cancer sucks. So being on the same page for a change and going to a great cause like that, I'm 100% with.
So again, Bobby Carpenter, an hour from now, we'll chat with him again. He's with 97.1 The Fan out of Columbus, one half of Morning Juice. Very entertaining show on The Fan in Columbus. So I'm excited to chat with him, former Buckeye. Really want to just pick his mind on everything going on right now with the talk of the potential expansion of the college football playoff, name, image, likeness, getting his take on that. And of course, hearing more about what he's hearing about the Buckeyes quarterback battle. We keep saying it's a battle. Mm-hmm. It's a quarterback battle. It doesn't sound like it's a quarterback battle. It sounds more like CJ Stroud's job to lose. Right. Is this more? From everything we're hearing, it is CJ Stroud's job to lose. This seems more wrapped up than what people are trying to lead on. Is this an actual battle, or is this just CJ Stroud? It's his job to hold on to, as opposed to three guys battling it out between, not Ewers yet. He's the guy coming in next year, but Kyle McCord and, of course, Jack Miller are the other two.
Right. He seems like the one that has been getting the reps, not only the limited garbage time reps from last season he got, but also the big reps with the spring game and everything like that. It seems like he's the leader right now. It's going to be a big push from Jack Miller, I'm sure. I'm sure he's not just going to all right, man, CJ, it's yours, man. You can have it. I'm sure he's going to give him a run for his money. But by all accounts, CJ is most likely going to be the guy. But the part of the team that I am most worried about, and the part of the team that troubled a lot of Buckeye fans out there last year, was the linebacking core. Pete Warner got drafted by the New Orleans Saints and everything like that. Tuff Borland, he really was never the same player after that devastating leg injury he had, like I would say his freshman year or sophomore year. Going into his sophomore year, I believe he tore his ACL, right? Mm-hmm. So he was never really the explosive player that he was as a freshman. So the defense as a whole struggled, but a lot of that struggle went to the linebackers because Ohio State is so famous for linebackers and being that great silver bullet defense. So I'm definitely going to ask Bobby, how does he see the 3 linebacker spots rolling out, because all 3 spots are up for grabs. I know everybody was all hype about everything that they saw in the spring game from the linebacking core. I want to see what Bobby says, because he actually played the position not only in the NFL but as a Buckeye.
Yeah, the way we look at the Buckeyes, I mean, when you think of Ohio State football right now and you think about their secondary, the reputation of their secondary, that used to be the reputation for the linebackers for Ohio State. Like, I remember when you used to think about Ohio State's defense, when I was growing up, it was linebackers right away. Everyone gravitated towards the linebackers, and rightfully so. I mean, between A.J. Hawk and Bobby Carpenter and guys like that. The bottom line is linebacker was the position everyone gravitated towards, and they were spitting guys in the NFL left and right. And now that's not their identity anymore. It's, of course, the secondary guys and, of course, the pass rushers, which is nice to be known for those 2 things, even though you're light at linebacker. I'm really just curious when that next big star at linebacker is going to present themselves. Is it because the game, I mean, it's not run centric anymore? Is that why linebackers who aren't your traditional backers who are having to play more coverage? Is that why maybe we're not seeing as many big name linebackers, make names for themselves with Ohio State? Is it just because the way the game has changed over the last 10 plus years? Because again, it's not, the game's not played the way that it used to be. It is more pass centric right now. But although you do play in the Big Ten, which is not as much pass-centric as what some other conferences are.
Right. I really don't know the answer to that question. We see a lot of hybrid type of guys like Isaiah Simmons, the former safety / linebacker from Clemson and everything like that. Guys that are strong safeties that bulk up a little bit, that are able to play the linebacker so they can cover in space a little bit more, because, not only the NFL is pass happy, college football is pass happy as well. So you need guys to be able to, run sideline to sideline and cover those tight ends and guys in the slot and everything like that. And, maybe it's something to look at, something that I'm sure the staff is looking at, like, how can we get our linebackers to be playmakers again? I'm trying to really think the last time we had a playmaker at linebacker. Was it Jerome Baker? Maybe the last playmaker at linebacker. Not saying the guys that have been in those spots haven't been any good. They've been good. Obviously they play for Ohio State. They're good.
Okay. They've been,
but splash, he's going to make a play. Darren Lee made plays. Jerome Baker made plays. We've had countless guys in the secondary make plays. Obviously, defensive linemen making plays. We want to see that linebacker core back to making plays, making splash plays, pick sixes, causing fumbles left and right, things of that nature. So that's what I'm very anxious to see from our Buckeye defense this year, because I think the secondary will be retooled and be better than it was last year, be on the same page and everything like that. I know the defensive line is going to be outstanding. I mean, it's almost turnkey at this point, but the position that I'm really got my eyes on is that linebacking core, because the thing about it is there's upperclassmen in that room as well, and they're highly rated 4 and 5 stars and all that jazz, so those guys have a little bit of game experience, but they have a lot of experience with the Buckeye team itself. They know the scheme inside out. So I want to really see those guys make plays this upcoming season.
All right, I'm Justin Kinner. He's Kev Nash. It's the Justin Kinner Show with Kev Nash, presented by Orion Sports Medicine. Scott Campbell, I see you. I see you on YouTube. He says, how about them Red Legs? Let's go Reds. I called the sweep over the Braves yesterday, and the Reds are 25% into that sweep as we currently sit here right now.
What day is Shaw going to the game?
He's going on Sunday.
Sunday, going for the sweep on Sunday.
And it's funny is because the original tickets that he had requested were for tonight, and when I went to go get those, I realized someone else had taken those tickets. I got him the tickets for Sunday, and I thought about that. I'm like, yeah, I want you to be there on Sunday. I want you to be there, Shaw. And I see he's tuned in now. So what's up, Shaw? I want him to see the Reds complete the sweep on Sunday.
We just jinxed them.
Yesterday, I'm not going to lie. What did it say? June 25th. Yesterday was June 24th, and it's the first time all season that I picked the Reds to win, and they actually won.
Wow.
Do you realize that every time, and I'm not exaggerating here, every
you picked
time
them for opening day, didn't you?
Yeah. Did they win then?
I thought they won opening day. I
don't think they won opening day because Luis Castillo was horrible.
Uh-oh. Let me double check.
And Shaw said, and burning with the sun. Yeah, Shaw, I'm with you on that. Look, I don't go to day games after April. In mid-May, I should say. After mid-May, I don't go to day games for the Reds anymore. Before I was here, and we got season tickets and everything. Nora and I, for the Reds, I remember one time we had bought like front row tickets in the outfield. I've shared this story before, and I could not wait to go. We lasted about maybe a few innings, and then we went to, at the time, or when they had the Toby Keith Bar and Grill, we went and finished the game. I mean, we spent some money on tickets. I was excited. I've never sat that close before at a game, and we lasted a few innings because it was just so doggone hot, and I couldn't handle it. So
to answer your question, yes, the Reds did lose opening day. They lost to St. Louis 11-6, but they end up winning the next two versus St. Louis.
So there you go. And I also predicted them to lose those games, and they won. So it is what it is. All right. Well, I want to get into this part of the show, too. We got a lot coming up again. Bobby Carpenter, will chat with him coming up. We will talk Reds around the corner again. They won game one against the Braves, and I predicted the sweep. We'll talk about all that coming up here around the corner. But first, let's get into opening up the show. Kev Nash brings you over under.
Kev Nash brings you over under.
All right, Kev, kick it off. Over under. We start things off like we always do in the National Basketball Association. Would you
love it? I love it. We all love it. Chris Paul returned from COVID-19 protocols for Game 3 of the Western Conference Finals last night, but the Clippers had other plans. They got the win over the Suns, 106-92. So the series is now 2-1 Suns. Over or under. This series going 6.5 games.
This series will go 7 games, so I'm going to take the over. I think all the home teams will win. I think, you already saw Phoenix get the first 2. The Clippers get the win. By the way, how about Luke Kennard? Shout out to him because last night he hit that huge 3 in the corner, drew the foul. That place was electric last night. So pretty dang cool watching Luke perform on that stage, not just, getting playing time, but making some big clutch shots like that. So that was pretty cool. But no, look, we saw the Suns take care of business in games 1 and 2. Last night, we thought that the Suns would be in good shape getting Chris Paul back, and, the Clippers still without Kawhi Leonard. But as long as Kawhi Leonard is not playing in this series, it's going 7. I really wish Kawhi was healthy because I think the Clippers win this series if he was healthy. But I still think it's going to be pretty competitive. Good for Paul George, though, who has had a fantastic Western Conference Finals 3-game stretch already. Another big night last night. So good for the Clippers. Good for Paul George. I still think this is going to go 7. I think Clippers even at 2 games apiece in Game 4. And then I think the Suns take the lead 3-2 in Game 5.
It's Mayday time for the Suns. The adjustments that Ty Lue has made have been outstanding. They went with Zubac to start the game instead of having Morris on the floor. So they're bigger. They have somebody to actually give, DeAndre Ayton problems. And the switch that he did was magical because he put the pest of all pests on Devin Booker. I'm talking about Patrick Beverly. Patrick Beverly is a pest. He'd already headbutted him and broke his nose, for goodness sake. So now he starts the game on him. Instead of having Patrick Beverly guard the point guard, hey, we're going to put you on your best player so he can't get to his mid-range game and basically annoy the crap out of him. And then the other thing, he put Paul George on Chris Paul, a longer defender, a quicker defender. So Chris Paul isn't able to get around and get to the rim and, get their offense in motion. So those 3 adjustments that Ty Lue made it very difficult on the Suns last night. I see those difficulties continuing, and I see this going all the way up to Game 7, and I can't wait for it.
Yeah, the reason I say Game 7 is because right now without Kawhi Leonard, these 2 teams are pretty equally matched, and you saw that in Games 1 and 2. At Phoenix. What gave Phoenix the edge in games 1 and 2, even without Chris Paul, was the home crowd. And then although Chris Paul was back last night, the Suns were on the road. I thought that the Staples Center actually provided the Clippers with just that edge. But they were feeling it last night, the Clippers were. So keep in mind, too, like the Clippers could have they could easily be up 3-0 right now.
Yes.
It's when they lost games 1 and 2, it's not like Phoenix was dominating them. It was 2 very competitive games that, of course, eventually there has to be a winner, has to be a loser. Happened to be the Suns in games 1 and 2, but that's why I said that the home fans for the Suns kind of gave them that edge. I still think Clippers take Game 4, head back to, of course, Phoenix for Game 5, where they'll take a 3-2 lead. I think the Clippers again Game 7 in Phoenix. Phoenix, it's going to be the home crowd that's going to be the big difference maker there. But I'm telling you, if Kawhi Leonard's healthy, I think Clippers almost sweep this Phoenix team, as impressive as they've been, because that's been the biggest difference maker to me, has been the fact that they haven't had Kawhi Leonard.
All right, number 2, game 2 of the Eastern Conference Finals is tonight with the Young Hawks at the Milwaukee Bucks. Game 1, Trae Young went crazy and also went to the free throw line 12 times. So over or under 10 free throw attempts for Trae Young in game 2.
Over under 10 free throw attempts. I think it's going to be, for one, I think it's going to be the over, just because, I mean, he's going to have to, that's going to be tough. For one,
gotcha.
He did a good job of balancing it out with attacking the rim, attacking the basket. I mean, you've got to attack the basket to be able to draw contact, to be able to get to the free throw line. But sometimes he has a habit of, when he starts feeling it from behind 3-point line, he starts kind of hovering out there a little bit too long. Mm-hmm. So I think it's going to, if he's smart, he comes out tonight and he's the aggressor and he's attacking the basket. What I hope he doesn't do is come out and try to pick up where he left off and start, draining them from 3 all over the place. I'm going to be looking for him to come out and try to establish the offense early. He knows his shot's going to, start to fall. So I think you're going to see him just attack the basket, be aggressive early, get to the free throw line. I'm going to take the over, but if it's not the over, they lose. If he has over 10 free throws, they win this game, because that means he's being aggressive and it's balancing his jump shot, along with his aggressiveness attacking the paint. If it's under 10 free throws tonight, they lose. If it's over 10 free throws tonight for Trae Young, they win.
I'm going to go with the over as well. There was I want to say it was game 4 or was it game 5? Really can't remember. Either way, in the series versus 76ers, he went to the free throw line 19 times. Mm-hmm. 19 times. We talked about this before as well. He goes to the hole with reckless abandon. He has no fear when he goes to the hole. Like, we can look back at when Kobe Bryant used to go to the rim, and Michael Jordan and guys like that. Like, those are even bigger guys. And even Allen Iverson. We'll take a small guy like Allen Iverson. Like, I remember in that finals, the 76ers versus the Lakers and everything like that. Even though Shaq and Iverson are like this, Shaq fouled the crap out of him. Like, there's no hard fouls. There are none at all. Like, I'm not saying hurt anybody, but you got to make it difficult for them. Make them, if you're going to foul them. Like, that's all I'm saying. So I'm going to go with the over as well, because he's the second best flopper in the NBA. Like, he draws contact left and right. He's flailing all over the place. Like, one of those 3-point attempts, Giannis, touched his hair, and he looked like he got shot by a shotgun, and the ref fell for it, and he got 3 free throw attempts out of there. And Giannis is sitting there like this, like, yeah, man, you can't touch him. But if you can't touch somebody, you can't guard somebody. So I'm going with the over as well, because he has a knack for getting those foul calls. So I'm going with the over.
All right, moving on, a little TBT, the basketball tournament, the alumni. Well, it's not just an alumni tournament, but my favorite teams in the basketball tournament are the alumni teams. The Red Scare for the Dayton Flyers, Carmen's Crew for the Ohio State Buckeyes. A lot of times in college, 4-year careers are wrapped up. You never see them again. What's been really cool is being able to see Trey Landers and Ryan Mikesell get back on the floor together, literally just months after that devastating ending to the 2020 season for last year's TBT, which was done remotely, which was done, of course, in a bubble. I'm sorry. I'm excited about the TBT coming up here next month in July, but that's going to be our number 3 over-under that Kev brings us. Kev, what you got for the TBT?
All right. Earlier this week, the bracket for the TBT was released. University of Dayton alumni team, the Red Scare, are 2C in the Columbus region of the round of 64 team tournament. So over or under, the Red Scare making the final 4 of the TBT, which is held at UD Arena, by the way.
This is tough because I absolutely love this roster. For one, I remember last year I was talking to Kendall Pollard, and he was all set on playing for the Red Scare last year. I could not wait to see him back out on the floor. He played in the first season for the Red Scare. And then, of course, because of COVID, the TBT dates were pushed back. It didn't match his schedule, so he couldn't compete. But Kendall Pollard. So here's the Red Scare roster. You have Joey Gruden, of course, coaching. But you have Trey Landers, Devin Oliver, Ryan Mikesell, Kyle Davis, Jordan Seibert, Daryl Davis, Kendall Pollard, Devin Scott, Trevor Thompson, and Brandon Spearman. That's your roster for the Red Scare. Look, I love that roster. I think that roster is fantastic. But I tell you what, Ohio State, Carmen's crew, that is also a very, very loaded roster as well. When you take a look at the weapons they have, they got Aaron Kraft back, which of course I know UD fans love. Any opportunity that they get to watch, whether it's the Dayton Flyers or the alumni team, have a chance to go head to head with Aaron Kraft. The last memory of Aaron Kraft as an Ohio State Buckeye, of course, was him with his arms behind his head, looking up at the ceiling in disbelief as the Dayton Flyers ended his, great Buckeye career. So it's going to be an interesting one. But here's the roster for Carmen's crew, who won this a few years ago. You have Aaron Kraft and William Buford. William Buford, one hell of a scorer. You also have David Leidy and John Diebler, Evan Ravenel, Shannon Scott, Keyshawn Woods, Jeff Gibbs, Lenzel Smith Jr., which is big, Julian Manuga, and the big one, Caleb Wesson. Caleb Wesson with William Buford, with John Diebler. See, this is why I love these alumni teams, is because, you get to see a Caleb Wesson who did not play with Diebler and Buford and Kraft and those guys, and now you get to see him on the floor with Kraft, Buford, and Diebler. This is tough. So these guys are both in the same regional. These guys will probably meet in that Columbus regional to get to the Final Four, to get to the championship game at UD Arena. I think Carmen's Crew's, I think Red Scare's better. I think that Carmen's crew actually has more experience. I think that they have very, very good players. Caleb Wesson's going to be the X factor. It's going to be whether UD can stop him. But I like Kendall Pollard. I like the guys that they have on that Red Scare roster. I'm going to say yes. I'm going to say the over. I think Red Scare will be playing in the championship game for the TBT at UD Arena.
Absolutely 100% with you.
I stalled on that because I had no clue. I'm back and forth. I like both rosters.
I sent you these early. You still had to stall?
No, because I still don't even know if that's. I mean, look, I don't know why the hell they put them in the same regional anyways.
Yeah, you're big mad about that.
Because I wanted. Look, we're calling the games this year, okay? So I wanted this to be the championship game. I really did.
I'm with you. I got the Red Scare making it to the Final Four of the TBT as well. Like you said, man, that roster is loaded, and we're not just saying that because we watch these teams play these guys play year in and year out. We know what they can do. We know what they're capable of doing. But I also look at the other side of the bracket. The other side of the bracket, they won't be running into Boeheim's Army, the Syracuse alumni team. They won't be running into the overseas elite team.
They're not even in it this year, right?
Exactly. So those like big teams that would scare you and everything like that, you don't have to worry about. The only quote unquote big time teams you have to worry about is the Ohio State Carmen crew, because the Marquette team with is on the other side as well. So it's really kind of balanced. So you really only got one big dog to worry about, and that's Carmen's crew. So I got the Red Scare making it to the Final Four of the TBT.
House of Pain's really good too, the Illinois alumni team. In fact, Mike LaTulip, who played at Illinois, actually played for Wright State for a bit, but he was a grad transfer from Illinois to Wright State, played his last year with Wright State. He's actually the coach of the House of Pain, but that's a really good team as well. So, and that's the team that knocked out Ohio State's Carmen's crew last year. But yeah, I think Red Scare, they have the best roster in that regional over there. I don't even know if it's called a regional. I'm calling it a regional, but that's what I'm saying. But yeah, they're pretty loaded. I really want Carmen's crew and Red Scare to face each other again, because the atmosphere a few years ago at Capitol was freaking amazing. That
Up
was
in
pretty
Columbus.
Cool. Oh,
I'm going to have to go to that.
All right, and next up, again, Kev Nash bringing you over under. Let's head to Major League Baseball and the Cincinnati Reds.
Absolutely. Your Cincinnati Reds beat the Atlanta Braves 5-3 in the first game of their 4-game series at Great American Ballpark last night. And Nick Castellanos, he had a heck of a game, 4 RBIs. So, over under 3.5 RBIs for Castellanos the rest of the series. And I'm sure I butchered his name.
I know, you got it right. Over under 3.5 RBIs for Castellanos over the rest of the series. You look at what he's done over the last, so he has scored 3 runs over the last week. He had 6 hits. He had 5 RBIs over the last week, of course, and 21 at bats. Of course, he had one, yesterday against the Atlanta Braves. He did score a run. He had 4 RBIs. I'm going to say under, but I think he's going to be right at 3. I think he'll have 3 RBIs total the rest of the way. But with the way he's swinging the dang bat, he's hitting .419 at home. He has 12 home runs at home. He has 31 RBIs at home. It's unbelievable. So he has 42 RBIs on this. Actually, you know what? I'm saying over. He has 42 RBIs on the season. 31 of Castellanos' RBIs have come at home. 31 of his 42 RBIs have come at home. Again, he has 14 home runs. He's hitting .343 on the season, which is good for second in Major League Baseball, but he is hitting .419 at home. He loves Great American Ballpark. I know when I was talking about this with Schlemmer and Hal McCoy today, it sounded cool. I had breakfast with Hal McCoy today, but me and Schlemmer, we had breakfast with Hal McCoy and Ray Stedger. Shout out to them. Appreciate their time today. But we were talking about Nick Castellanos. He's going to be in line for some big money coming out of here. Reds may not give him that big money, but he may want to stay in Cincinnati. Keep in mind, you look at the numbers at home. He's killing it at Great American Ballpark. We always say, oh, man, they struggle getting pitchers in free agency because no one wants to come pitch at a hitter's ballpark. But hitters like to hit at a hitter's ballpark, and Castellanos is proof of that. Not only are his power numbers great, but his contact is great. RBIs through the roof. I'm going to say over, so I'm changing it my mind. He's going to have more. He's going to have more than 3 RBIs the rest of the series. In fact, I think he gets 2 RBIs tonight, 1 tomorrow. We'll do a 3 on Sunday just for Shaw. He's going to put on a show for Shaw on Sunday. How about that?
I'm going over as well, barring no rain delays or cancellations of any games because of rain. But I'm going to go over as well. I mean, I caught the highlights last night, and then I looked into the stats, and I was like you just said about how he's hitting at home. I'm like, yo, he's definitely going to get over that. So I'm going to go over as well.
All right, Kev Nash brings you over under. Up next, the last one of the over unders here for this afternoon. Number 5, we'll head to the National Football League.
Absolutely. NFL players who voluntarily opt out of the 2021 season because of COVID-19 protocols will not receive a stipend. Last season, 67 players opted out of playing. So over or under 12 players opting out of the 2021 season.
I'm going to say under. I don't see a reason to opt out. I mean, unless there are those underlying health conditions. Last year, I thought a lot of the opt-outs were because there were still a lot of unknowns about COVID. And I know we don't know everything about COVID, but I think that right now there is enough out there, again, with the vaccine and everything else. The other thing, too, a lot of these guys opted out last year because there was no vaccine.
Right.
That's why I'm still confused about all this vaccine talk, and I don't really want to get into the vaccine debate necessarily. But what I'm so confused on is that the big narrative was, man, we just got to buy time until we get this vaccine. Now we have the damn vaccine, and everyone's acting like, well, I'm not going to take that vaccine, as if everyone assuming everyone was going to stand in line to get this vaccine is crazy. I mean, that's all everyone was talking about is let's just buy time, get to where we have a vaccine, and we can move on. I'm going to say the under on this, not just because they're not going to get the stipend if they voluntarily opt out, but again, I think we're returning to as much as whatever normal could be moving forward. I think it's smart of the NFL, of course, to still have a little restrictions in place for those who don't have it, because although we know a lot more than a year ago, we still don't know about about how it could still impact getting it a second, third time, all that stuff. I'm going to say under. I don't think you're going to have as many. Right now it's just a matter of people complaining because of what restrictions are in place for those who are not vaccinated. So I'm going to say under. I don't think you're going to have that many opt out voluntarily this coming up season.
I'm going to go under as well. I'm sure we'll have some guys who will opt out. A lot of guys last year that opted out, their wives were expecting and things of that nature. So I'm sure there'll be a couple guys that have that situation going on in their household and everything like that. But for me, it's as simple as this, man. Like you said, there's a vaccine out there. If you're either going to take it or you're not, because if you haven't been vaccinated yet, there's no excuse if you want it, and they have every right in the world not to want it, and everybody else has the right to not want to get the vaccine or not. But as far as playing football, the guys that want the vaccine, they got it because it's here. The guys that don't want it, they still wanted to play last year anyway. So there's nothing holding anybody back, was what I'm trying to say. Everybody that wanted the vaccine has the vaccine. They're willing to play. And the guys that haven't been vaccinated yet, they probably were never going to get vaccinated anyway. So they were down to play football regardless. So I'm going to go with the under. I'm going to say there's a couple guys out there who's dealing with some medical issues in their personal life, or, dealing with some family situations. Maybe they're trying to start a family with their significant other, things of that nature. So it'll be pretty low. So I'm going to go with the under as well.
All right. And that is over under. Kev Nash brings this over under, presented by Nobody, each and every weekday here on the Justin Kinder Show with Kev Nash. All right, we got Bobby Carpenter coming up a half hour from now. We'll talk with the former Buckeye, former NFL linebacker. We'll talk about all of the ongoing discussions involving the expansion of the college football playoff, name, image, likeness, his thoughts on that, him being a former college athlete, a high-profile college athlete at that. I'm curious his thoughts on how would that have impacted him during his time as a college athlete and how he sees it impacting college athletics moving forward. We'll get to all of that a half hour from now with former Buckeye and NFL linebacker Bobby Carpenter. That was Kev Nash's over-under. We'll step away for a few moments. When we come back, Pro Football Focus, you know, the Bible, they put out a list of their top 50 players. I'll give you a little teaser here. The Cleveland Browns had three players. 3 of the top 50 players are Cleveland Browns. How many players in the top 50 represent the Cincinnati Bengals? We'll be back in a moment. I'll tell you how many. 0.
Listen, stream, watch. It's the Justin Kinner Show with Kev Nash right here on Dayton's ESPN Radio, 1410 Wing AM. ESPN 1410 Wing AM weather.
This afternoon will be cloudy with showers and thunderstorms, a high near 83. Tonight will also be cloudy with showers and thunderstorms, a low near 73. And tomorrow will be partly cloudy and humid, a high near 90. I'm Pete Spivak for 1410 ESPN Radio.
This is a big deal. Now at healthcare.gov, millions more people can afford health coverage. Due to the COVID relief law, 4 out of 5 customers can get a plan for under $10 a month with financial help. From doctor visits to preventive services to prescription drugs. These are quality plans. You can do this. You can have coverage as soon as July 1st if you sign up now at healthcare.gov. Paid for by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
All right, we have goat yoga lattes coming up in the yoga room. Hey, Vegan, can you go
At Finley's Fitness, personal trainers shouldn't have to personally do everything.
Engage that core. That class started 2 minutes ago. I am late. Hey, Dylan, can you...
Indeed can help them hire the people they need.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. When you sponsor a job, you immediately get your short list of quality candidates whose resumes on Indeed match your job criteria. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
Germain Honda Beaver Creek is your local Honda dealer, and now is a great time to buy. For a limited time, Honda has extended 0% financing on the 2021 Honda Passport, Honda HR-V, Honda Pilot, and the 2021 Honda Odyssey for well-qualified buyers. See me, Sales Manager Jason High, for the complete details. We are located at Route 35, just east of 675 between Xenia and Beaver Creek. Germain Honda Beaver Creek, the right car, the right price, the right way.
Need a U.S. passport? We can help. Hi, this is Mike Foley, your Montgomery County Clerk of Courts. Visit one of our convenient auto title locations in Huber Heights, Clayton, downtown, Moraine, and Centerville. Make us your first destination before you travel abroad. No appointments ever needed. We do passports.com for more info.
Over the last year and a half, we all learned some hard lessons. One of the most important is that you can't put off the inevitable. Hi, this is Mark Davis at Dayton Memorial Park Cemetery and Mausoleums. No matter how hard it is to think about, we all need a final resting place. When pre-planning with your funeral home, please remember that cemetery arrangements must also be made. Call us today at 937-890-1831 or visit our website at DaytonMemorialPark.com. And remember, Dayton Memorial Park is a beautiful place to celebrate life.
Hey, here to tell you about my friends at Cordell Transportation. They're now hiring Class A CDL drivers and offering a $5,000 sign-on bonus. That's right, a $5,000 sign-on bonus. Home daily, dedicated lanes, and no-touch freight. Brand new equipment as well. Medical, dental, vision, and company-paid life insurance. Call Cody right now. Apply online at CordellTransportation.com. Cordell Transportation, driven to succeed.
Milano's Pizza Subs and Taps' new summer menu is the perfect pairing to the Big on Tap beer selection. Try your favorite craft beer with a bacon cheddar cheese steak or a new Milano's pizza choice. See the summer menu now at milanosubs.com.
Who have we all had a little trouble social distancing from? Here's a clue. About 6 feet tall, has handles, and is cold inside. That's right, our refrigerators. And our waistlines have suffered. However, Skechers would like to help you get back on track with our incredible Go Walk footwear. Because once you put on Skechers Go Walks, they're so comfortable you'll be inspired to get out there and start walking. Skechers is a comfort technology company, and Go Walks are fully loaded with all the comfort and performance innovations you need. They're incredibly lightweight and breathable with features like air-cooled Go-Go Mat insoles soles and bound foam bottoms for extra cushioning. And Go Walk footwear come in all the fits you love, like stretch fit, wide fit, relaxed fit, and arch fit with podiatrist certified arch support. Plus, you'll look great with so many stylish options to choose from, including easy slip-ons and comfy lace-ups. And they're even machine washable. It's time you distance yourself from that fridge. Get out there and start Go Walking. Find the #1 walking footwear in the world, Skechers Go Walk, for men and women at Skechers.com, a Skechers store, or wherever stylish footwear is sold.
Are you involved with a school or charitable fundraiser that holds an auction, bid and buy booth, or a raffle to raise money? Many of the most popular items at auctions or booths are autographed sports memorabilia items. How can you get great items in your event? Call Adam Walter at Sports Investments. Sports Investments has a consignment program for fundraisers that has provided outstanding items. You select items that are proven sellers, including autographed pieces from Tiger Woods, LeBron James, Joey Votto, the Big Red Machine, the Bengals, the Browns, UC, XU, UK, NKU, Dayton, Louisville, Notre Dame, and Ohio State. Sports Investments consigns the items to your group at a highly discounted price. And when they sell, you keep the profit. You don't pay anything in advance. And if something doesn't sell, you simply return it. You'll enjoy the experience of dealing with the Walter family. Call them at 513-891-5000. Email Adam at sportsinvestments.com or visit them on Montgomery Road, right off I-275, just 40 minutes from WING.
Guys, stop putting your love life on hold. U.S. Pharmacy has some exciting news. If you've been wanting to try Viagra or Cialis, now's the perfect time. Call today and receive 90 little blue or little yellow pills for only $119 with free shipping. Why order some low-dose sildenafil from one of those subscription services when we can give you what you want now? Call 800-990-6271 and we'll rush your order discreetly packaged to your door. Been thinking about trying Viagra or Cialis? Call U.S. Pharmacy at 800-990-6271 for as little as only $119 for 90 pills. Need your package in a hurry? Call 800-990-6271 and ask about our express shipping option, and we'll rush your order to you as soon as possible. Save money on the little blue or yellow pill you've been wanting to try. Again, 800-990-6271 now. That's 800-990-6271.
It's Mattress Firm's 4th of July sale. For a limited time, save up to $500 on top-rated mattress brands like Sealy and Sleepy's.
There are many ways to catch the Justin Kinner Show with Kev Nash on 1410 ESPN Radio, weekdays from 3 to 6 p.m. You can catch it live right here on 1410 Wing AM, or you can stream the show at wingam.com. But now we have another way that you can take in the show. You can now watch the Justin Kinner Show with Kev Nash live on ESPN Dayton's Facebook page. Listen, stream, watch. It's the Justin Kinner Show with Kev Nash, weekdays from 3 to 6 p.m. on 1410 ESPN Radio. All sports, all the time. This is 1410 ESPN Radio. We're live. We're local.
What are you gonna miss? He struck him out.
We're Dayton's ESPN radio station. Now, let's send it to the WING studios for Dayton's only local sports talk show. It's the Justin Kinner Show with Kev Nash, presented by Orion Sports Medicine.
All right, welcome back. Justin Kinner, Kev Nash with you here on a Friday. Pro Football Focus put out their top 50 NFL player list, not their top 50 quarterbacks. That wouldn't make any sense anyways, but not like a top 10 quarterbacks, not a top wide receiver list, not a top running back. Their top 50 list. First of all, I think in football and just like in baseball, like I think it's stupid to do a top 50 list in baseball of who's the best baseball players, because there's so many different positions. So many different positions have so many different responsibilities that it's really hard to track who's a better football player. Like I don't know how you can track who's a better football player amongst different positions, but that's what this list has done. And for instance, we all know that the most important position in the NFL is quarterback. You live and die by who is leading the way at quarterback. In the top 10, how many quarterbacks do you think are in the Pro Football Focus top 10?
6. How
many do you think are in the top 5?
3.
Is Tom Brady one of those top quarterbacks in the top 10?
I hate you. Because no. But yes, he's going to be.
Okay. So there are only 3 quarterbacks in the top 10. This is why it kind of
Okay, you got my attention.
Tom Brady.
I haven't looked at it.
Tom Brady is number 7 on the list. Now,
wait. You said how many are in the top 10?
There's 3 in the top 10. He is number 7.
So Patrick Mahomes.
Do you believe he is the first, second, or third quarterback in the top 10?
Third.
He is not.
Get out of here, man. Come on, dude.
This is Pro Football Focus. Okay.
Come on. So
the most credible list.
So you mean to tell me they got the quarterbacks ranked Patrick Mahomes, Tom Brady, then Aaron Rodgers?
Yep. I would put Russell Wilson in Tom Brady's spot. But it is what it is.
But I would have Aaron Rodgers higher than Russell Wilson, right?
Aaron Rodgers should be way higher. I mean,
that's what I'm saying.
Aaron Rodgers should be the second quarterback on this list. Like, right. Aaron Rodgers is the second best quarterback in the NFL, and you could even argue it's 1A, 1B between him and Patrick Mahomes. Whoever A and whoever B is, you could debate that, but I don't think you can go wrong. I mean, Patrick will always get the rub because he's younger, right. But as far as if you just had to pick either of those if you had to win, if it was you were picking a quarterback for one season and one season only, regardless of age, and Tom Brady could be a part of this. Mm-hmm. Patrick Mahomes, Aaron Rodgers, Tom Brady. You're picking Patrick Mahomes. Whoever ends up with Aaron Rodgers, you're not out anything. Right. You are just as much of a winner as the team who picked Patrick Mahomes. Tom Brady, not a bad quarterback to have. But look, Tom Brady needed a ton of help last year. There's a reason Tom Brady looked very pedestrian the year before in the last year with the Patriots, because they were a bunch of pedestrians amongst Tom Brady. And then, of course, he is amongst some of one of the best rosters in the history of the NFL and the Buccaneers. And, of course, he looks like a Super Bowl caliber quarterback. And he was. He won the damn Super Bowl. But the point is to have him as the second best quarterback in the top 50 in the NFL, to have him as the second. And see, what doesn't make any sense is in the top 50, Kev, he comes in as the second quarterback in the top 50 list, but in the top 10 quarterbacks, he's like 4th or 5th on that list too. So this is why some of this doesn't make any sense as far as how it's dispersed. But who do you think number 1 is, not quarterback-wise? Who is the best player in the National Football League, according to Pro Football Focus in their top 50 list?
I could have keep thinking Pro Football Focus. So somebody that has those like stats that they look for is going to be Aaron Donald.
Aaron Donald's number 1. I have no issue with that. I think he is the most dominating football player in the National Football League. I mean, when you talk about how MVP is a quarterback's, quarterback award, it's you could say it's an offensive award. It's a quarterback award. Maybe a running back can sneak in there from time to time, or a wide receiver, but ultimately, or tight end there's a long list of positions that you can probably check off and say that position will win before defense. You regularly hear Aaron Donald's name in the MVP conversation. Hasn't won it, but that's how dominant he is. Patrick Mahomes comes in as the number 2 player in the National Football League. I also have no problem with that. Number 3 is Travis Kelce. Now, here's what's interesting about the top 10. I'm counting Travis Kelce. There he is. There are 2 tight ends in the top 10 between Travis Kelce and George Kittle.
Right.
And George Kittle comes in at number 9. Quentin Nelson at number 4, guard from the Colts. Devontae Adams, wide receiver, comes in at number 5. Khalil Mack at number 6. Tom Brady at 7. Bobby Wagner, linebacker from the Seahawks, at number 8. And George Kittle 9, Aaron Rodgers 10. Now, TJ Watt, edge rusher from your Steelers, comes in at number 11. And then number 12 is Derrick Henry. Just to give you an idea of going past that a little bit.
I like that. I like the way they mix it up. And, they even throw offensive linemen some love and everything like that. I'm just still stuck on the Tom Brady, to be perfectly honest.
I couldn't get over that. I actually don't have a problem with this top 10. The only one I'm like really scratching my head at is, and you could make an argument, Aaron Rodgers should be higher.
Yes.
I mean, I'd put him above Khalil Mack. I'd put him above Devontae Adams. Devontae Adams, he plays a dependent position. You can't be Devontae Adams playing with, more than half the quarterbacks. You need the Aaron Rodgers. So, again, maybe we're over dissecting it when it comes to that.
So hold on. Do they have an explanation why certain people are in?
Yeah, it's a long. Let me pull this up real quick. But
I'm dying to hear this Tom Brady.
The Tom Brady one?
I'm sorry.
No, you're fine. Let me scroll the way back to the top here, because I can't believe Tom Brady's all the way up at the top. So Tom Brady coming in as the number 7 player. To have him that's the top 50 football players in the National Football League. They have Tom Brady at number 7. which is bogus. It says Brady and Jerry Rice are seemingly the only football players who have ever managed to thoroughly evade Father Time. At 43 years of age, Brady posted a Pro Football Focus grade of 93.3 last season, including the playoffs. Man, how good did he have to be in those games outside of the Packers game where he was straight trash? He was garbage.
Yeah, it was definitely a tale of two halves for Tom Brady. First half, he was outstanding. And most importantly, he threw that touchdown pass to Scotty Miller right before the half. But everything good that he did in the first half, he was just as bad in the second half by throwing 3 interceptions. Basically throwing the ball up for grabs because he didn't want to get a sack or get hit or whatever. So as much props as you give him for that first half, he was equally as bad in the second half. Now, the games against the Washington football team, he was good. He was average at best versus the Saints, but as bad as, Drew Brees was, and that's no knock on Drew Brees, it's just like he gets worn down throughout the season. So he barely outplayed Drew Brees, but I think it's a lot about that Super Bowl. I think it's a lot about how, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers throttled Kansas City, but I think the people that should get the majority of that love from that Super Bowl win, which it won't, is that defense. And I mean, yes, Kansas City had 2 backup offensive linemen or 3 backup offensive linemen and everything like that. But that's how football goes. The defense was the reason that Tampa Bay won that Super Bowl. And there's no knock on Tom Brady. Tom Brady, in my opinion, is the best quarterback of all time. But currently right now, having him 7th is a bit high for my taste.
Yeah, a little bit too high. It goes on to say that the 7-time Super Bowl champion did this in his first season with a completely new team and brand new offensive scheme for the first time in 2 decades, with no preseason to work through the issues that would usually present itself. Brady is still as good as any quarterback in the game. The only question is, how long can he keep defying time? So Ron,
Tampa Bay was the only team to have a preseason.
I was going to say, Tom Brady out there breaking the law. Ron Howard says, didn't see any clowns in the top 10. Well,
let's do it.
Let's do it. Now you open that door. You open Pandora's box. Ron, the only Buccaneer in the top 10 shouldn't be there. Let's just be honest with you. So let's just be a little, when you think about the quarterbacks in the NFL, and it's nothing against Tom Brady, because Tom Brady, he's just, there's an aura of Tom Brady that makes him who he is. Yes. But from a skill set, he's not even the top 5 from a skill position. He's not. Lamar Jackson doesn't throw better than Tom Brady, but from an overall skill standpoint, Lamar Jackson, Russell Wilson, Deshaun Watson. I can go on. And Deshaun Watson was not in this top 50. I do not believe so. I need to go back and skim through that. I don't know if we're just not counting him at all. He has to be in the top 50. But if he is in the top 50, he has to be better than Tom Brady. I don't care about what he's being accused of. I shouldn't say that. I do care about what he's being accused of. What I mean is, from debating a football, the best players in the NFL, that stuff doesn't impact what we're talking about as far as skill. So Deshaun Watson should be ahead of Tom Brady on this list. Deshaun Watson is better than Tom Brady. Let's just be honest with you.
I agree. And I really don't want to get derailed into this whole Tom Brady thing, but in my opinion, the best player on the Tampa Bay team is Devin White, the linebacker out of LSU. Like, he's the best football player on the team. So I have a hard time saying that Tom Brady is in the top 10 of the NFL when he's not even the best player on the team. Like, that's just how I view it. I view it as maybe even Levante David is better than Tom Brady as a football player. And I know Levante David is a little long in the tooth. He's been in the league for 8-9 years and everything like that. But there's no doubt in my mind that Devin White is the best football player on that team. But I digress. Let's talk about the Cincinnati Bengals. I know you're dying to.
With that being said, so Ron says, I didn't see any clowns in the top 10. Yada, yada, yada. No Cleveland Browns in the top 10. No Cincinnati Bengals in the top 10. But the thing is, you start going down this list, you start seeing the players that are in when you start looking at the number 30, 31, 32, those play. There's so much freaking talent in the NFL, right? As far as that goes. Now, so with that being said, there were 3 Cleveland Browns in the top 50 of Pro Football Focus's top 50 NFL players list. I will tell you who number 50 was Dak Prescott. Dak Prescott came in at number 50.
Wow.
In the day and age where we baby quarterbacks, I'll give Pro Football Focus this. They didn't baby a lot of the quarterbacks here. Aaron Rodgers is not the 10th best player in the NFL. I'm sorry. You have your MVP as number 10 on this list. That's crazy. But we'll step away for a few moments. On the other side, I'll tell you which 3 Cleveland Browns cracked the top 50. If you had to guess, who would the 3 Cleveland Browns be before we go to this break? If you had to guess who the Cleveland Browns are that are in this top 50, there's 3 of them. Who would it be?
Myles Garrett, Nick Chubb, and Baker.
All right, so we'll step away for a few moments and we'll find out if Kev Nash is correct
in that order.
If you want to phone a friend or whatever, you can. There you go. But we'll step away for a few moments. Pro Football Focus, top 50 NFL players. There's 3 Cleveland Browns in the top 50. Who are they? We'll reveal that next. Who are the Cincinnati Bengals in the top 50? Well, they don't have any, but, is what it is. We'll be back in a moment.
It's the Justin Kidder Show with Kev Nash, presented by Orion Sports Medicine.
Reds fans, cheer on your Redlegs when they take on the Braves June 24th through the 27th, presented by Kroger's Zero Hunger, Zero Waste. Friday, June 25th, enjoy a spectacular post-game fireworks show. And Saturday, June 26th, the first 15,000 fans in attendance will receive a Queen City Sluggers triple bobblehead featuring Klazuski, Foster, and Suarez, presented by St. Elizabeth Healthcare. Purchase your tickets now at reds.com/promo.
If you are push mowing your yard using an inefficient lawn tractor, or your current zero-turn spends more time in the shop than mowing your grass, it's time you look at the Hustler Zero-Turn Lawnmower. Residential mowers from Hustler are built like tanks and drive like sports cars. All Hustler mowers have fabricated welded steel decks. Don't settle on cheap units with flimsy stamped decks from big box stores. See Small Engine Service Pros and we'll guide you to the right mower for your property and your budget. 2030 North Dayton Lakeview Road, Route 235 in New Carlisle.
Attention Class A CDL drivers. Looking to be more than just a number? Yoel Transportation in Dayton is looking for drivers with at least 1.5 years experience. Yoel has open positions for no-tarp flatbed drivers and no-touch regional or local van drivers. Yoel is ELD compliant and offers 401k with match, medical, dental, vision, holiday pay, vacation, safety bonuses, and now has a rider policy. Call Rick or Joe at 937-294-5933 and ask about the $5,000 sign-on bonus today.
Designer face masks, DIY haircuts. In a world full of things you never thought possible, here's one more. Now you can get the same high-quality insurance from Allstate, but at a new low rate. Drivers who switched and saved averaged $718. With Allstate, you can lower your rates, not your expectations. Visit allstate.com or call an agent for a quote today.
Reported average annual savings when switching auto by new customers surveyed who saved with Allstate in 2019. In most states, prices vary based on how you buy. Not available in every state. Subject to terms, conditions, and availability. Allstate Fire and Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois.
Get more out of summer with more from the Home Depot and 4th of July savings throughout the store and online. Whether you're ready to paint a wall, upgrade an appliance, fire up a new grill, or spread color throughout your garden, the Home Depot can help you match low prices with your high expectations for your next project. Whatever plans you have for your home, you can make this a summer to remember. With the Home Depot, how doers get more done.
Liberty Mutual Insurance Company presents
and Doug. And we're back with Limu, Emu, and Doug for the final question. Category is things you climb. All right, Limu, what do you think? You sure? We're going with Liberty Mutual customizes your car insurance so you only pay for what you need. Oh, so close. We were looking for stairs. Huh. Only pay for what you need.
Liberty, 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 liberty. One night with Emmylou Harris. And Los Lobos. Together live, Saturday, August 7th. Rose Music Center at the Heights. Same night, same stage. Emmylou Harris. Los Lobos, live. Tickets on sale now at Ticketmaster.com and the Rose Music Center box office.
It's time for some straight talk. You've got real work to do, but everyone's sucking up the free Wi-Fi faster than a Mocha Choco Double Frap on ice. So be your own hotspot. Now with Straight Talk Wireless, get 10 gigs of hotspot data with the ultimate unlimited plan. Just $55 a month on America's largest and most dependable networks. You don't have to find a hotspot. You are the hotspot. Straight Talk Wireless.
No contract, no compromise. Compatible device required. See straighttalk.com.
Goodyear knows the importance of keeping momentum as you head down the stretch. Momentum starts with movement. It's pulled from the air like a contested rebound. Momentum builds with steals and fast breaks, and is proven by deep threes as the shot clock expires. Momentum is how we change the game, and now it's time to discover where it can take us. Goodyear, more driven.
It's Mattress Firm's 4th of July sale. For a limited time, save up to $500 on top-rated mattress brands like Sealy and Sleepy's.
He's a former Buckeyes great and now a college football Hall of Famer. And don't forget about his 13 years of NFL experience playing for the Eagles, Dolphins, Jets, and the New England Patriots. He's Dayton's own Keith Byers. Hang out with him every Monday at noon on The Keith Byers Show, presented by Lee's Famous Recipe Chicken. College football playoffs, Browns, Bengals, Buckeyes, and more. Catch the Keith Byers Show Mondays at noon on 1410 ESPN Radio.
Pro Football Focus, top 50 NFL players as we head into the 2021 season. September 9th, I believe, is the first preseason game.
Let's get it on.
As we head into July. That ain't right, is it? I think it's July 9th. September 9th.
Game,
it's right. The Cowboys and the Steelers, if I'm not mistaken, isn't it? So there's that. I'm clicking on this now. Let me make sure I get the right dates on there. Yeah, September 9th. It's a Thursday. That's Dallas at Tampa. I apologize. No, that's the regular season.
Yeah, that's regular.
I'm sorry. Hold up. Let's get you guys some the Hall of Fame weekend. I thought it was way early. I thought it was in August as far as that goes. So, of course, of all times at there it is. So it is. That's the Dallas Cowboys and the Steelers, and that's August 5th. Holy moly. That's over. That's just – we're a month away.
Mm-hmm.
We're a month away. So August 5th is the Hall of Fame game. And then on August 12th. So, yeah, Kev, oh, my gosh. We are a month away, dude. What
Crazy.
The hell?
Think of what they said, like 75 days, right?
I mean, that's a little over 2 months from kickoff. But I mean, look, at this point, I'm salivating for preseason football. I don't care. Of all the preseasons out there, I think they're dumb. I watch NFL preseason football mainly because, so for instance, the Jaguars. I'm going to watch a lot of Jaguars preseason football that I have access to, mainly because of the fact that, Trevor Lawrence, he's going to get, they want to get him a lot of reps out there. I mean, How do you handle that, by the way? When you have a rookie quarterback, there's no quarterback battle. No one's you play him a lot, right? Because he's a rookie, or do you treat him as if he's a 5-6 year vet in the league? Couple, possessions here and there. I mean, what do you do in that situation?
Man, lots of reps, man. He's going to need it. He's going to need a lot of reps.
How did the Bengals do? We didn't get to see how they would have done it with Burrow because there was no preseason. I'm trying to think of it like the Browns when they had Baker, they were trying so hard to convince themselves they weren't going to play him at all that year. They didn't even give him first team reps at all during the preseason, but he got a lot of playing time with the second unit.
Mm-hmm.
So there's that. But yeah, Thursday, August 12th. So Thursday, August, what did I say? 5th, yeah. Thursday, August 5th will be the first preseason game. It's the Hall of Fame game, of course, between the Cowboys and Steelers. Thursday, August 12th will be preseason week number 1. So we are a month away. So what is today? The 25th? What's Monday when we come back on Monday?
Monday would be the 28th.
The 28th. So then we're, we're 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, we're a month away. 4.5 weeks away. Yep. We're just a little over a month away. Holy moly. And by the way, July is going to be a fun month because you do have the TBT. I love the TBT. I'm sorry. You're going to hear a lot of excitement in my voice. Yes, because we're going to be a part of that, calling some of those games. And we'll have more details on that in the days and weeks to come. But I love the damn TBT. I think it's absolutely cool. I can't wait. I mean, the Red Scare to watch Kendall Pollard and those guys play, to see Seibert back out there too. That's going to be sweet. I'm pretty excited about that. I think a lot of Flyers fans are as well. And then Carmen's crew, Aaron Kraft, John Diebler, David Leidy, William Buford, those guys. I mean, they get to see Caleb Weston on the floor with them too. I'm pretty pumped about that. But there you go.
You're 100% correct. July is jam-packed. Think about this. Like you said, TBT. The NBA Finals is in July this year. The NBA Draft is in July this year. There's this little thing called the Olympics that's happening in July as well. So
All-Star game for baseball, the trade deadline for baseball.
Add that to the list.
Yeah, who said that July? I mean, June is a crappy month, apparently. I mean, this has been a fun month. There's been so much that has happened this month.
Oh, yeah, and NFL camps open up in July.
And there you go. So, Pro Football Focus, top 50 players. There were 3 Cleveland Browns and you can hit the outro music. We'll do this on the way out. We got Bobby Carpenter. We're going to talk with Bobby Carpenter coming up here in about 5 minutes. And the NFL top 50 list, again, Aaron Donald, the number 1 player in the NFL, according to Pro Football Focus. The number 50 player is Dak Prescott. A lot of in-between stuff. Patrick Mahomes, number 2. Tom Brady comes in at number 7. He is the second quarterback in the top 50 ahead of Aaron Rodgers and Russell Wilson. I mean, are you kidding? That's pretty interesting. But 3 Cleveland Browns on this list. You said who again?
Nick Chubb. No, I said Myles Garrett, Nick Chubb, Baker.
All right, you were close. Myles Garrett comes in at number 25.
Okay.
Nick Chubb comes in at number 37. And John Johnson comes in at number 41. No Baker Mayfield.
The safety from the Rams. Okay.
Yeah, so there you go. People get mad when I say he's top 3 safety in the league, and then of course he came in at number 2 in Pro Football Focus list. So people just accept it, and we'll all be happier. No, but I have no problem. By the way, everyone's like, "Oh, I bet that ticks you up. Baker's not there." No, Baker's not a top 50 player. Baker is a extremely good quarterback. He's not top 50. He's not better than Dak. He's not better than Dak Prescott, and he's not better than Russell Wilson. He's not better than Tom Brady or Aaron Rodgers or Patrick Mahomes. I have no problem with Baker not being in that list. No Cincinnati Bengals in that list either. Ouch. So there you go. Been telling y'all. $250 million over the last 2 off seasons. Y'all can't even get a top 50 player. We'll be back in a moment. Bobby Carpenter, former Buckeye, NFL linebacker. We'll chat about the possibility of the college football playoff expansion, name, image, and likeness. Talk a little Ohio State football as well. Don't go anywhere. Bobby Carpenter joins us next. It's the Justin Kinner Show with Kev Nash, presented by Orion Sports Medicine. Bobby Carpenter joins us next.
It's the Justin Kinner Show with Kev Nash, presented by Orion Sports Medicine.
It's time for some straight talk. You've got real work to do, but everyone's sucking up the free Wi-Fi faster than a Mocha Choco double frap on ice. So be your own hotspot. Now with Straight Talk Wireless, get 10 gigs of hotspot data with the ultimate unlimited plan. Just $55 a month on America's largest and most dependable networks. You don't have to find a hotspot. You are the hotspot. Straight Talk Wireless. No contract, no compromise.
Compatible device required. See straighttalk.com.
Goodyear knows the importance of keeping momentum as you head down the stretch. Momentum starts with movement. It's pulled from the air like a contested rebound. Momentum builds with steals and fast breaks, and is proven by deep threes as the shot clock expires. Momentum is how we change the game, and now it's time to discover where it can take us. Goodyear, more driven.
WING 1410 Dayton, Dayton's ESPN Radio.
Okay, fine, I'll fess up. All the new summer stuff I got, it's on sale at Kohl's. And the deals are so good. Like our Sonoma Goods for Life patio furniture, it was 30% off. Got 30% off backyard games, too. And even picked up grilling tools for 20% off. Best part? I saved an extra 20% and got it in an hour with free store pickup. So now we're all set for summer, and I'm pretty sure we've got a cookout planned every weekend. Select styles, 20% offer ends June 27th. Some exclusions apply. See store or Kohl's.com for details.
Get more out of summer when you get more from the Home Depot and trusted brands like Behr Paint. Beat the summer heat by taking on a paint project indoors and keep things cool with 4th of July savings on paint and all the supplies you need. We're making sure now is the perfect time to give your home a refresh. How cool is that? 4th of July savings only from the Home Depot. How doers get more done.
Cordell Transportation is now hiring Class A CDL drivers. $5,000 sign-on bonus. That's right, $5,000 sign-on bonus. Home daily dedicated lanes, no touch free. Apply today at CordellTransportation.com. Cordell Transportation, driven to succeed.
Menards has Sylvania's new True Wave Natural Spectrum LED bulbs. They offer the best in lighting technology and bring out the positive feelings of happiness, relaxation, and warmth while reducing eye strain and improving the sleep cycle. Right now, save 11% on all True Wave LED bulbs. Get 11% off everything now at Menards. Good through June 26th. Savings are mail-in rebate. Some exclusions apply. See store for details.
Save big money at Menards.
Listen to this station anytime, anywhere on Odyssey. Odyssey is your new audio home for all the music, news, sports, and podcasts that matter to you. Odyssey. That's AUDACY.
It's Mattress Firm's 4th of July sale. For a limited time, save up to $500 on top-rated mattress brands like Sealy and Sleepy's.
Hey everybody, it's Stephen A. Smith, and everyone knows my feelings on Cowboys fans. But really, Justin Kenner, you're a Cowboys fan and a Browns fan? Good Lord have mercy. I don't know what the hell to do with y'all. I really don't.
It's the Justin Kenner Show with Kev Nash. Weekdays from 3 to 6 p.m. on 1410 ESPN Radio. On Twitter, make sure to give us a follow. Search 1410 Kenner for Justin Kenner on Twitter. That's 1410 KINNER. And ESPN Dayton for the station Twitter handle.
All right, everybody, welcome back. It's the Justin Kenner Show with Kev Nash, presented by Orion Sports Medicine. We're going to continue talking some little college football here today, as well as some NFL. We bring on our next guest, Bobby Carpenter, former Buckeye, also host of Morning Juice on 97.1 The Fan in Columbus, linebacker in the NFL for 7 years, of course, and the resume goes on and on. But, Bobby, we appreciate your time here on this Friday. How are you?
Well, gentlemen, thanks for having me on. Excited to be here.
Absolutely. Look, there's a lot I want to get into, but I want to open up with all of this going on right now with all the college football playoff expansion talk, just getting your opinion on this right off the bat. I mean, for there to be change to something, that means something has to be broken or at least enough flaws for it to lead to change, correct? Like, is the college football playoff set at 4 teams? Is it broken in your opinion? Do you like it at 4? Does it need to include more teams? Where are you at when you started hearing all of this expansion talk?
Well, I think if you go and look back through since 2014, when Ohio State won the first college football playoff, to where we are now, there's probably only been 1 or 2 teams that have been left out, with Ohio State probably being one of them in 2015, that had a viable shot at winning a national championship. Now, maybe you could argue there's other teams that should have gotten in over another team, but I think we're really just arguing about who the 4th, 5th, and 6th teams were in any given year. And so it's important for guys to get to play? Yeah, I think it is. We want to try to get the best 4 teams in. Is there years where there might be more than 4? Yeah, you might have 5 or 6 in any given year. And, obviously a lot of it depends on best versus most deserving and that whole argument. But things don't need to be broken to be changed. The reason why this is changing is one thing and one thing only. It's the financial situation of athletic departments around all of college athletics. They were vehemently against this for so long, and then all of a sudden COVID hit, couldn't have fans in the stands, they're hemorrhaging cash, and so not only do they just go from like 4 to maybe 6 or 8, they go to 12 and make this massive jump where you have a 4-round playoff now, still trying to keep 3 rounds of bowl sites and only having 1 round at home. I don't know how you're going to ask people to pay for that. I don't think that in any given year, the 12th place team is going to have any viable shot of probably winning more than 2 games. And I think you're going to probably see a lot of blowouts. Will there be more football? Yeah, that's good for a lot of people. Yeah, more money? Yeah, that's going to be great. Will it make its way to the players? Well, we'll see how that breaks out. But you have teams playing 17 games, which I don't think is necessarily a great thing. You could have teams more realistically than even now playing each other 3 times, which I don't necessarily like. You could diminish the regular season some, which I don't like. And the argument of that is, well, you'll have more meaningful games for, potentially in Indiana or, maybe a Texas A&M or something like that, a team that might be out of it in the top 4, but they could be jockeying to get, spots 10, 11, and 12. Yeah, I guess that's okay, but I really don't care about that. I'm worried about, the big-time games that really meant a ton in October where you could conceivably lose a national championship opportunity. I don't know if there'll be the same sense of urgency with regard to those now. And so there's a lot of negatives when it comes down to it. I mean, what are you doing with the rest of the bowls now? Like, is those, we've kept up this charade where the other bowls have always, it means something to go play and win. And believe me, I think if you're playing somewhere, you're playing to win. Like, that's 100% how I feel about it. But at the same point in time, if you're not one of the 12 best, I mean, my goodness, like, how are you trying to sell yourselves on it? Like Jimbo Fisher essentially said this year at one point, it was, their bowl game was like an exhibition. They were preparing for the next season. So I don't know how this is all going to look. I don't know how it's all going to work. I think, there'll be more games. Will there be better games? I don't necessarily think that's going to be the case. So I guess everybody's going to get paid. So, the powers that be will be happy.
Bobby, it's one of the teams that we cover a big time is the UC Bearcats. So how do you think this is going to affect the G5, like UC, UCF, and Memphis, teams of that nature who kind of had some big time seasons, have been left out of the college football playoff, but with this potential expansion, they could be knocking on the door. I believe that the door is still going to be slammed in their face. Like, I don't think it's going to work out the way the G5 teams think it's going to work out. I think they're thinking like, oh man, we're going to get 1 to 3 teams in here. I really think that it's still going to be a situation where the Power 5 are just going to dominate the new playoff.
Yeah, when you look at that, you're probably about 100% right. I think you're going to get the 1 G5 in that's guaranteed. Maybe in a given year you get 2. I severely doubt you're going to get 3 because you're going to have the Big 5, plus you have Notre Dame, you're sitting at 6. Then you're going to have your group of 5 team that gets in there automatically. That's 7. So you have 5 spots left. SEC's getting 2. Now you're down to 4. Big Ten's getting 2. Now you're down to 3. SEC's probably getting 3. So now you're down to 2. And that includes, like, okay, you got to throw maybe another Big 12 team in there, potentially another ACC, a Pac-12. I mean, they're not going to get any more than 2 tops. And this year, I mean, Cincinnati, I think they could have had a reasonable shot of potentially beating Notre Dame. Like, I think they were right in that conversation, right in that mix. I think there was a huge jump from the top 3 teams with Ohio State, Bama, and Clemson. Big drop-off after that. But I love Fick, what he's done down there. I mean, they should have, for all intents and purposes, won that game against Georgia. But here's the other thing, too. Like Cincinnati, what were they seeded? 8th? They kept bumping them down.
Yep.
So you're thinking in this, well, they're 8th. They would have got a home playoff game. I don't think the committee is ever going to set it up to where one of the group of 5 schools is ever in 5 through 8. They'll get the 9th spot, but we're not going to let you host a playoff game. You're going to have to go somewhere else. You're going to have to travel. And we're not going to let you keep all of the spoils of the game, of which it would be a huge victory for the athletic departments, being able to keep the gates and everything that goes into having an extra home game.
Bobby, it's funny because, with a 14, look, there's 4 teams currently in the college football playoff, and there's the Power 5, which means one conference, theoretically, if at least one conference champion from each of those conferences represented, not accounting for, multiple teams from a conference making a 14 playoff, or Notre Dame taking a spot. The one thing I get tired, the one narrative that I always disagree with very aggressively is when people say, well, it's not fair because the Big Ten's been left out on a few occasions, or the Pac-12, they've been the ones that have really suffered. My biggest frustration with all of that is at no point during the 14 playoff pitch did anyone say it was going to be equally fair to all the Power 5s. I mean, common sense tells you there's 4 playoff spots and there's 5 Power 5 conferences. I've never understood why people get so caught up in that. We had Heather Dinich on last week, and I said I felt like when it comes to that argument that we don't put enough pressure on the Oregons and the USCs of the world to improve their program. Like, their program has been kind of a step behind. Like, they're not keeping up with the Alabamas and the Clemsons and the Ohio States of the world. I feel like you got to blame them more than you blame the college football playoff model. Where are you at with that when you hear people say, well, we need this 12-team playoff because it's more fair? I know the Pac-12 commissioner had come out and said that he believes that the Power 5 conferences, the conference champions, should get the auto bid in right away, that's the only problem he had with the current proposal. Where are you at when you hear a lot of those different arguments?
I'll tell you what my dad told me when I was probably in 3rd or 4th grade. Life isn't fair. That's the reality of it. And then the Clint Eastwood line on top of that, where deserving ain't got nothing to do with it either. So, like, that's the reality of what we're living with here. I mean, everyone wants, fairness. I mean, there's nothing fair about a conference who their best players in their geographic footprint go to other schools now. Like Chris Olave, he'll be a first-round receiver. He came to Ohio State. JT Tuimoloau out of Oregon is going to probably come to Ohio State. He canceled his visit with Alabama, but he's probably going to go to Ohio State. Like, you're telling me Washington or Oregon or USC can't get that kid? Like, that's an indictment on them. Be better.
Thank you.
Be better at what you do. Finally, the Big Ten, like, hey, they brought in Urban Meyer. Like, dude, we got to go recruit nationally. We've got to invest money in this. And the Big Ten, I love it, man. They have a ton of varsity sports, more varsity sports than any other conference outside of some of the Pac-12 schools. But the reality is 1.5 sports drive the bus. It's football and a little bit of men's basketball. And so if you want to have all those other sports, you better invest disproportionately in those two sports to be able to get enough money back to make sure you can pay for everything else. The Big 12 understands that. The SEC understands it. The ACC, some of the schools understand it. But people live in this dreamland where everything is fair. Everything is not fair. Everything's not equitable. Like, no one cares about a lot of the Olympic sports outside the people that play them. I love to go and watch them. You know, my wife will sit there and watch it. We'll take our kids and we'll do all this. But the monetary drivers in our society lean towards football and men's basketball somewhat. And so if you don't believe that, then you're living in a dreamland, and that might not be, quote, fair, but that's the way it is. And let's face this now. And Supreme Court basically came out and said, you're dealing with a professional sports model. It's time to act that way. So they've gotten beaten up and bludgeoned, and Mark Emmert's hiding in a corner somewhere in Indianapolis and doesn't want to take accountability for anything. I want you to know this. In 2018, the NCAA, it's a nonprofit, so all this stuff's out there. They spent almost $60 million in legal bills, and I want to say at least 17 or 18 of it was directly associated with their Supreme Court cases and district court filings, trying to defend their amateur status. I said, hey, time out. Why don't we take some of that money and actually try to solve the problem and then give the rest of it back to the student athletes? How about we do that instead of spending $60 million on legal fees trying to defend an indefensible argument?
Yeah, you brought it up, NIL. How do you think the NIL rules are going to affect recruiting?
You know, everybody wants to make it sound like things are going to change dramatically. I want you to go back and look in your free time, gentlemen, and tell me what the top 25 teams were in 1970, then tell me what the top 25 teams were in 1995, and then tell me what the top 25 teams were in 2020. And you know what? There's a lot of reoccurring characters.
Yep.
There might be a couple that ebb in and out, but once you got to 1970 and the academies were basically out of it, and so are the Ivy Leagues, it's the same darn schools. They're up there at the same time. Like, this is not going to change them at all. You know, recruiting might be a little tougher. School, like, it might help a school like Cincinnati, who's in a very densely populated urban environment. Like, there's a lot of corporate money. There's a lot of opportunities there than you might have in some more SEC schools that are in smaller states that are in tiny towns. But people are going to try to get this thing together. I do know this. Everyone thinks that there's these businesses are just going to shell out hundreds of thousands of dollars. Businesses are in the business of making money. Yeah, they may love their school, but you also don't want to be associated with a 19 or 20-year-old who on any given Saturday night could destroy the reputation of your business if you're tied to them based upon a bad decision they make.
Right.
So I don't think it's going to be this free-for-all. It'll be crazy at the beginning. Things will settle in, and then it'll be like it's supposed to. And the reality is it's going to be great for women's sports and Olympic sports. There's female athletes in the NCAA that have hundreds of thousands of followers on social media that they could easily monetize that, but haven't been able to due to the constraints. And then they go and they're done playing their sport, and there really is no professional market for them. So they were cheated out of that time in college when they were at the most popular and the height of their fame, where they could have monetized that and got a head start on life. Let them do it. Let them do it. Because I truly believe, I mean, I have children, and one of my bosses at ESPN told me, my kids don't watch TV. They watch YouTube all day. And I was like, that's crazy. And now my kids are around their ages, and they watch YouTube all day. Like, these people, it's a different paradigm of how marketing deals are going to be driven out for the younger generation. And a lot of it will all be social media driven. And the market will correct it and take care of all that.
Yeah, it's going to be a lot of flat tummy tea ads out there real soon.
And
like, you look at the Paul brothers, who I might dislike more than just about any other Ohio. But I mean, you can't lie with what they've done with their quote brand and how they've been able to monetize their lives. Like, it's ridiculous. I dislike them to the nth degree, and I can't wait. I mean, I wish Floyd would have put a beating on him far worse than he did. I'm angry that he didn't, and I hope when the other one gets in the octagon with oh goodness, I can't think of his name. I hope he literally turns his face into ground beef. But, I mean, those guys have done it, and that's what I kind of envision this looking like for the majority of college athletes.
Yeah, you saw Logan Paul said he could beat Mike Tyson because Mike Tyson's old. And look, Mayweather was all about like doing this to make that money. Mike Tyson, you piss him off. You might get your wish if that happens. Mike Tyson, yes, he wants to make that money, but if he kills you in the process, I think it's just a win-win for him at that point. So you might get that if that fight happens.
Listen, I'd pay $99 to watch him get knocked out by Mike Tyson. I mean, Mike Tyson might be 55 years old, and he may not be as quick and have the stamina or endurance that he used to have. But listen, man, one shot is all that's going to take. I watched that dude knock out elite fighters come running and sprinting out of the ring and just put them to their knees. Floyd is not a big dude, so he wasn't going to knock him out. But Mike Tyson could rearrange his face.
All right, we got Bobby Carpenter with us here on the Justin Kinner Show with Kev Nash, presented by Orion Sports Medicine. Just one or two more things, Bobby, before we let you go. We appreciate you hanging out with us here on a Friday. Ohio State, of course. Look, I'm for one. We're seeing it in the NBA and right now in baseball with all the fans returning to the arenas and to the stadiums. I mean, it's just look. I was glad that we had any kind of sports whatsoever during the pandemic, but man, it sucked without fans, and college football sucked without fans, and seeing what we're watching now in Major League Baseball and the NBA with the fans and the excitement. I can't wait for college football. I can't wait for college basketball. The shoe is going to be rocking this coming fall. But one thing we all have our eyes on right now, of course, following recruiting and the job that Ryan Day and his staff have done, of course, they're kicking ass with that. But the quarterback battle is the one thing that has interested me the most. I know that C.J. Stroud, according to reports, has separated himself from Kyle McCord and Jack Miller. What can you tell us from what you hear and what you see? What is it about C.J. Stroud? What has he done to kind of separate himself from the other two? We know that you have to be extremely talented just to be even competing in a quarterback battle at Ohio State. But what is it about C.J. Stroud that he has separated himself from the other two, in your opinion?
I think he's had a little better command of the offense. Jack Miller did some really good things in the spring game, and then throws his interception at the end of the first drive that he was in. And it was really tough for Kyle McCord to be a guy who's not even really a true freshman yet, still a senior in high school, even though you're a 5-star and you're a very talented player, to compete against guys who have had a whole year in the system. It was a big learning curve for him to try to catch up. He looks really talented. The guy can throw the football really well. I just think Stroud has a better command of the offense right now than everybody else. And another two, and I don't think it's like this massive separation. Kyle McCord, you have to remember, when you get in the spring, a full summer in a training camp, like that's going to matter immensely for a guy who, should have still been in high school and, still learning the playbook in theory. So there's a lot there. I think Stroud obviously is the front runner in the clubhouse, but I wouldn't say that this is over by any stretch. I mean, Jack Miller's done some good things, but I really like Kyle McCord and, his ability. He's pretty athletic, can move pretty well, and he's got a gun, looks really good. And then, the thing is, we're talking about this now, and then you're going to add Quinn Ewers into the mix, in the spring. And that dude's got a whip like I haven't seen in quite some time. So, I mean, this is going to be a frothy battle here for probably the next 2.5 years.
Can you argue that Stroud's fighting for this job for, not just this coming up season, obviously, but I mean, he's competing with Quinn Ewers coming in, who obviously will not be a part of this battle this year. But if he performs at such a high level, I mean, look, we saw Trevor Lawrence as a freshman, what he looked like. We saw how good Justin Fields was as a sophomore, and we know how good he probably would have been his freshman year. These kids coming in that are these elite quarterbacks, they want to play right away. If Stroud looks the part and he plays at such a high level that Ewers might not want to sit out a year, do you see a scenario where C.J. Stroud could be so damn good that Ewers might not even end up taking a snap as a Buckeye?
It's crazy. Like when you look at these quarterback battles, and now that's the most important position. The NFL is percolated down to college football, and there used to be a day where you could win with an average quarterback and great skill position players and a great defense, and I don't know if that's the case anymore. And so you look at obviously when Trevor Lawrence came in, you're benching a senior to put a guy in who's young, and ultimately pays off for you. You look at Justin Fields. It's great you bring him up. He goes to Ohio State. They had Jake Fromm down there. Jake Fromm was a highly recruited guy, won a lot of games the year before, You know, and it's like, do you bench him to put in Justin Fields? Well, it looks like that probably should have happened. And it may end up ultimately costing Kirby Smart his job because they could have won a national championship potentially if Justin Fields was there. And instead, you know, they're laboring in injuries and some other stuff that had happened. But I think you play the best guy now. And maybe that's Stroud the whole time. I have no idea. Maybe it's McCord. Maybe it ends up being Miller. Who knows? Maybe Ewers comes in and sets the world on fire. But I know this, like, football is a pure meritocracy. You're playing the best dudes, because if not, your locker room will turn on you. They will smell it out. They know who the best guys are in practice. They can see it. They know who the guys who play the best in the game are. And it's too hard and it's too physical for the rest of the 21 guys who are starting and special team and everything else, for them to look and say, we're playing a guy here just because he's a senior. We may a veteran. We may like him. We know he may be the returning starter, but he doesn't give us the best chance to win. And so what am I doing? Why am I working extra hard if, as the coaches, you're going to try to handicap our team? So the Ryan Day, it's tough right now. And it's a brutal situation to be in, but you're just going to be forced to play the best guy regardless of age. And understand that, hey, he may make a mistake or two, but ultimately his ceiling is so high that he's going to give us a chance to win at the end of the year against the elite teams, because we're talking about playoffs now. We're expansion play. Like, all that matters now are titles. That's all it is. You know, and that's you'll take a loss maybe mid-season if you can just get in and be playing your best in December and January.
One more for you. Linebackers for the Buckeyes. All three spots are up for grabs. How do you see it shaking out?
Oh, man, it's interesting because, you know, I think they're still looking to – I don't know if it's been official yet or not. You know, still trying to potentially maybe add a guy in the portal, more of a veteran guy. I know Cody Simon has looked really good. I know Eichenberg has looked really good. Those two guys took a ton of reps this spring and have been very, very talented. I really like Dallas Gant. He was hurt during the spring, but he's a guy who has played outside, can play some inside as well. But, you know, those are three dudes that I've been watching a lot. Taraja Mitchell, another veteran guy who's big physical dude in the middle. You know, Al Washington does a good job of rotating guys and finding out what they do best and trying to find a spot for them and a way to play them, because you have guys that are good at certain things and, you know, they may have strengths here and a weakness there. Like, hey, how do we find a way to get guys who are really good at something on the field and let them go? And Al's a really talented coach. He does a great job managing his room. And you saw it last year with the quartet of guys that they had rolling through, found a way to get it done and make them all play at as high a level as they could. And I think he'll do the same thing this year.
All right, good stuff. Bobby Carpenter, 97.1 The Fan, host of Morning Juice, also with ESPN, has a litany of jobs, of course, and we appreciate him taking time and hanging out with us here on a Friday. Bobby, you were a part of the Buckeye cruise, or the land cruise that was this year, of course. You guys raised over $3 million to fight cancer in a COVID year at that. I mean, unbelievable. You know, again, just watching the Buckeye faithful come and doing what they do. Another opportunity tomorrow, a little bit closer to home here at Indian Lake, just a few hours from here, just over an hour from here. The JR Memorial, something you've been a part of for many, many years, something I was introduced to just a few years with my fiance's family. Just talk about what that means to, of course, go out to the Buckeye cruise and do what you do, but to have something so close to home here that also makes such a huge impact in the battle against cancer.
Oh, yeah. It's like the mini cruise. You go up there, we do a little boat hop from different restaurant and bars all around Indian Lake. Then we have our big event there starting about 6 o'clock. It's absolutely fantastic time. I would encourage anybody to come. So many people have been impacted by cancer. You go there, we raise a ton of money. It all goes back to the James Cancer Hospital and the Urban Shelley Meyer Foundation here in Columbus. And it's one of the things that sets Ohio State apart from other schools, man. No one else can put this thing together the way that Ohio State does, with the blending of athletics and the James Cancer Hospital and all the alumni and just the passion and fans all throughout Buckeye Nation. It's a very, very unique thing. And I bring it up to recruits every time I talk to them. And then they start looking it up and you start realizing the amount of money that's raised. And you have guys that are playing in the 70s and 80s. Heck, Keith Byers is on the boat, and he's talking to Zeke Elliott, who's he's old enough to be his dad. I mean, it's crazy. That's the family environment that you have. And, I always fancy myself one of the young guys, but I started looking around and I'm like, I'm almost old enough to be some of these guys now. So, but we're all great friends and we all have a great time and we're all doing it for a great cause. And the support that you see from the 11 million people in the state of Ohio is absolutely terrific. It's something that's unmatched, in my opinion, throughout college athletics and throughout the country. So, I appreciate you getting the chance to talk about that. They raised $3 million in an abbreviated land cruise this year, and I know next year they're ready to blow the top off again and do a great job. Because I'll tell you this, during quarantine, cancer did not quarantine. So cancer diagnoses were down, but that doesn't mean it went away. It just meant people weren't getting diagnosed because they weren't going to their screenings and checkups. So go to your physicals, go to your screenings, go get checked. Early recognition of it is a huge attribute now because there's so many tools to fight this thing. So I sit here on my soapbox. Thank you guys for giving me the opportunity to do that because it's an awesome thing, and everybody's been impacted some way by having someone in their family, friend, circle group that has cancer. And so this is an awesome job. It's a way to help extend and enhance the quality of their lives and hopefully one day find a cure.
Yeah, a lot of big names going to be a part of the JR Memorial tomorrow at Indian Lake. Cardale Jones going to be there. The Ohio State Band's going to be there. Of course, there's a silent auction with a ton of really cool items every year. I'm always amazed at some of the items that people are spending, ton of money on bidding for these really cool items during these auctions. And then, of course, Shucking Bubba Deluxe. For anyone that has been at a bar or any event with them, they kick ass. And that's why me and my fiance, we can't wait for that tomorrow. So we're pretty pumped.
Oh, wait. We'll have the Dairy Queen truck or big freezer out there. We'll be slinging out dilly bars to everybody. It's a great time, man. There's some awesome involvement from local businesses. And like you said, there's going to be a ton of great players there that are awesome and just want to hang out and talk to everybody. And it's a great experience. So you know what, I enjoy it. And thanks for having me on, guys, man. It's been great to talk about that. And I like Kenner. It could be like Kenner and Nash, like Tango and Cash. You have a nice little show name there. Absolutely fantastic.
We'll pitch it to the higher ups and we'll say it has your blessing as well. So there you go. But good stuff. Bobby Carpenter, former Buckeye, awesome enough to hang out with us today. Bobby, thanks so much. We'll talk soon. Looking forward to seeing you tomorrow at Indian Lake.
Anytime, gentlemen. Thanks for it.
It's the Justin Kinner Show with Kev Nash on 1410 ESPN Radio. ESPN 1410 Wing AM weather.
This afternoon will be cloudy with showers and thunderstorms, a high near 83. Tonight will also be cloudy with showers and thunderstorms, a low near 73. And tomorrow will be partly cloudy and humid, a high near 90. I'm Pete Spivak for 1410 ESPN Radio.
Weather is brought to you by Cullet Propane, making buying propane easy since 1952, offering budget billing and pre-buy options. Find out more at culletpropane.com.
Your experience matters. At University of Phoenix, relevant life experience and eligible transfer credits can help you earn your degree faster and for less. In fact, undergrads who apply these credits, on average, save about 1 year and $11,000. Get the credit you deserve for time spent in the classroom, on the job, and in life. And see how much you can save at phoenix.edu. That's phoenix.edu.
Pick it up, guys. Pick it up. At Bowles Builders, demand is through the roof. To keep up, his business needs a stronger foundation.
Cut the saw, all right? Just 1 sec. Bowles Builders, this is Bow. This weekend? Yeah, we can do it.
Indeed can help him hire the people he needs.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. When you sponsor a job, you immediately get your short list of quality candidates whose resumes on Indeed match your job criteria. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
You've been putting back a few, and a few becomes a few too many. For a moment, you think of calling for a ride, but nah, you live nearby. What's the worst that could happen? You get pulled over, your insurance goes up, you lose your license, you total your car, you kill someone. The results of driving drunk are tragic. That's why law enforcement is out there looking for impaired drivers to save lives. So if you think you're okay to drive after a few drinks, think again. Drive sober or get pulled over. Paid for by NHTSA.
When the doctor told us about my mom's cancer, it made me feel so helpless. Until I called the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society and spoke with Grace, who answered all of my questions about the disease, treatment options, and cancer-related expenses. Her support and compassion made us feel whole again. Today, I'm calling Grace to let her know my mom is beating cancer. To learn more, visit lls.org.
This July 4th at Lowe's, get $10 off 1-gallon cans or $40 off 5-gallon pails on select interior and exterior paints, stains, and coatings via Lowe's gift card rebate. And with everyday appliance savings, save up to $750 now on select major appliances. Lowe's, home to any budget, home to any possibility. Actual size 110 to 640 fluid ounces. Rebate not valid with other discounts. See Lowe's.com/rebates for more details. Savings instant in select stores. Exclusions apply. U.S. only. Paint pricing valid through 6/30. In-store must ask cashier to apply coupon. Savings vary based on purchase amount. Can't be combined with additional discounts. Valid for 7/14.
Milano's Pizza Subs and Taps new summer menu is here. Fresh salads, house-made chicken salad subs, the pep and honey pizza, and more. Bring it home or dine on Milano's patio. See all your choices at milanosubs.com.
Hi, this is John McManus, Chief Deputy to Montgomery County Clerk of Courts Mike Foley. Because of a recent change in Ohio law, you can now have your documents notarized online. Clerk Mike Foley is pleased to offer you this service today. If you would like to request an online notarization, please visit courthouse2u.com and click on Online Notary to make an appointment. You can now enjoy our same great customer service from the comfort of your home. Visit courthouse2u.com today.
Attention Class A CDL drivers. Looking to be more than just a number? Yoel Transportation in Dayton is looking for drivers with at least 1.5 years experience. Yoel has open positions for no-tarp flatbed drivers and no-touch regional or local van drivers. Yoel is ELD compliant and offers 401k with match, medical, dental, vision, holiday pay, vacation, safety bonuses, and now has a rider policy. Call Rick or Joe at 937-294-5933 and ask about the $5,000 sign-on bonus today.
Summer's here, and Rob's Beer Barn is in full summer refreshment mode. That means Rob's Beer Barn has you covered for all of your outdoor gatherings. At Rob's, you can find all the refreshments you'll need. Ice-cold craft beers, imported, local, and seasonal beers, fine wines, snacks, and ice. Rob's has it all. And if you find you're in need of any last-minute items, you can call, walk in, or drive through. Stop in and visit Rob's and stock up for the summer. Rob's Beer Barn on Indian River Road at Darst, just a mile east of the Green. Rob's Beer Barn, just look for the beaver.
I'm CBS News business analyst Jill Schlesinger with a quick tip from H2O Wireless on stretching your budget and saving money every month. Start with your recurring monthly bills, and here's the easiest one, your cell phone bill. Verizon, AT&T, and T-Mobile charge premium rates for unlimited data, when in all actuality, you have no need for that much data. H2O Wireless, on the other hand, is on the exact same network as one of those carriers, but charges you half. The average family of 4 is saving over $70 a month without having to sacrifice coverage. And listen to this, unlimited talk, text, and 15 gigs of data for just $36 per month. Switching is as easy as swapping out your SIM card. You can keep your phone and your phone number. Here's how to get the best deal. This month, dial pound 250 and say keyword get H2O. You'll save an additional 50% off your first month. Dial pound 250 and say get H2O for this exclusive offer and start saving today.
Don't wait to get a new job. Express Employment Professionals is hiring for more than 35,000 jobs. Find your local Express office at expresspros.com or on the Express Jobs app.
Attention men under the age of 35. You know what really impresses the ladies? When a guy has a few drinks and later gets pulled over for buzzed driving. That could cost you around $10,000 in fines, legal fees, and increased insurance rates. There goes let's grab dinner and a movie. Oh, I know. You drive more carefully when you're buzzed. You've proven that hundreds of times. A woman admires that kind of confidence. And you've practiced how to speak if a cop does pull you over. Slowly, clearly, and politely like, "Good evening, officer." A woman admires that kind of foresight. And what woman doesn't find it adorable that you call it buzzed even though the law calls it drunk? You can kiss $10,000 goodbye, along with any chance of having a girlfriend. Because nothing says, "I'm a catch," more than a guy who lives in his parents' basement and calls it my place.
Buzzed, busted, and broke. Because buzzed driving is drunk driving. A message from the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
Well, Jason, I've got to tell you, you're pretty much everything this company is looking for in an entry-level candidate.
Great.
Your resume isn't quite what we're used to, but you've got a fantastic work ethic.
Thank you.
And I'm impressed by how you carry yourself.
So, should we talk about the job?
What? The job? Oh, sorry. Yeah, I have no way of recruiting or even meeting you. This interview didn't happen.
It may sound ridiculous, and that's because it kind of is. There's a huge pool of talent your company is missing out on.
Meet the grads of life. Who are they? Talent worth knowing about. Young adults of unique determination and experience. An ideal fit for your company in an entry-level position, internship, or even mentorship. They might not have every qualification you typically look for, but they're exactly who your company needs.
Man, we really could have used him.
Don't miss out on a resource many innovative companies have already discovered. Go to gradsoflife.org to learn how to find, cultivate, and train this great pool of untapped talent. Brought to you by the Ad Council and gradsoflife.org.
The Reds are on the radio. Every hit, every strikeout, every Reds victory. You can catch all of the action all season long right here on Dayton's home of the Reds, 1410 ESPN Radio. Whether you're at home, at work, or in your car, tune in to ESPN 1410 Wing AM or stream us live at wingam.com.
All right, welcome back. Justin Kinner, Kev Nash with you here on 1410 ESPN Radio. Shout out to Bobby Carpenter, former Buckeye, taking time and hanging out with us here today. A lot of interesting points he brought up. The one that I thought was most fascinating was when he said that he does not believe that you're going to see a lot of these endorsement opportunities, not as much as what we think. And what he means by that is like a lot of these car dealerships and a lot of these businesses, and again, he's not speaking for all these businesses. Everyone will have a different approach to something, and I'm sure they're going to experiment with some of these. And that's why he said, he goes, early on, you're going to see a lot of companies dive into this. They're going to experiment. They're going to see what they could do and all that. But he brought up a good point. He goes, you're putting your brand in the hands of 18, 19, and 20-year-olds.
Right.
You're one sexual assault. You're one drunk party gone wrong. You are one fight at a bar. And that's not fair to assume that that's how all college athletes are going to be. But that's a good point to where if you are a brand, you are putting – but then again, we're seeing that stuff go on with grown men in the NBA, NFL, Major League Baseball, and so on. So I get his point on that, but it's a point I didn't really consider until today hearing him say it, where you have these companies who are – they're not going to be as, they're not going to be as, eager to put their brand in the hands of these 18, 19, and 20-year-olds.
Yeah, he brought up a lot of great points. And that's kind of like why I was on the whole social media thing, not necessarily like commercials and them representing, car dealerships or whatever. That's why I said like social media. That's why I made a little joke about flat tummy tea, the Instagram thing. That's what you do. It's like not really companies that are like AT&T or Sprint or whatever, but just like web-based companies, things of that nature. But yeah, he does bring up a lot of good points about, you're putting your whole brand in the hands of somebody that maybe isn't going to be making the smartest decisions in the world. I mean, think about the decisions that you made at 19, 20, 21 years old. Like that's not I definitely don't want those days out there.
I was too busy at church to make bad decisions, Kev, so I have no clue what you're talking about. But, nonetheless, but good stuff there as well. And again, also talking about the quarterback battle at Ohio State, when you consider the fact that, it's, here Kyle McCord, CJ Stroud, Jack Miller, CJ Stroud, obviously right now, just based on what you hear, read, and see is basically, without being named the starter. I would be very shocked if he is not the starter. Again, injuries can always play a role in that. I never talk in terms of that. I mean, I think that's always a given. We're talking about is everyone's healthy, true quarterback competition, Kev. We're talking about, CJ Stroud being the starting quarterback for the Buckeyes this fall.
Absolutely, man. It's something that everybody's always talking about. Who's going to be the next guy at Ohio State to start the quarterback position? It's always a quarterback showdown. Obviously, the one between Dwayne Haskins and Joey Burrow and everything like that. Then you had the next guys coming in line. You had dudes transferring because, a certain quarterback transferred in. But now is the first time that you're getting a real quarterback battle.
All right, we'll step away for a few moments. When we come back, NFL Network, just an article released from NFL.com talking about the top 10 coaches on the hot seat heading to 2021 NFL season. And I think some of those you can obviously assume, one of those being the Cincinnati Bengals head coach, Zach Taylor. But that's not a surprising name. That's a given. I thought he should have been on the hot seat after last year, to be honest with you. But he heads into the season on the hot seat. Bengals fans, do you agree? In all seriousness, we can have a normal conversation. I am curious people's thoughts on Zach Taylor. I think that the Bengals issues run deeper than just who the head coach is. I don't think that he's making the issues better, but I am curious Bengals fans' overall opinion on Zach Taylor. Is he the guy? Should he be on the hot seat? It was a list that was just released about about the coaches on the hot seat heading into 2021. Zach Taylor is on that list. Should he be on that list? Or do you think he's done a good job, all things considered? We'll discuss that on the other side. More of the Justin Kinder Show with Kev Nash next.
It's the Justin Kinder Show with Kev Nash, presented by Orion Sports Medicine.
Ready for renovations? Arts Rental Equipment has the tools you need to make your home, lawn, and garden stand out this year. From brush chippers to cutoff saws, no job is too small or too big. Visit your local Arts store today. Work smart. Rent from Arts.
You took an antacid, and now your frequent heartburn's back. Stop heartburn before it begins with Prilosec OTC. Its unique delayed-release formula blocks heartburn at the source for 24 hours, so you can extinguish heartburn before it starts. Make the switch to Prilosec OTC today and live heartburn-free. Prilosec OTC. 1 pill a day, 24 hours, 0 heartburn. It's possible while taking Prilosec OTC. Use as directed for 14 days to treat frequent heartburn, not for immediate relief.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Its powerful technology actively finds and invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
At CDW, we get that hybrid working might take some getting used to.
Yep, I'm only in the office part-time, so my cat can adjust to me being gone.
How nice. Wherever you're working, CDW can help you stay connected by implementing secure by design HP Chrome OS devices with built-in virus protection.
Gotta run. The boss is calling.
Mr. Whiskers sounds very demanding. IT orchestration by CDW. People who get it. Find out more at cdw.com/HP Chromebook.
O'Reilly. Ready for an oil change? The professional parts people at O'Reilly Auto Parts are here to help. We'll make sure you have all the supplies you need to make the job quick and easy. Right now, get 5 quarts of Mobil 1 full synthetic motor oil for just $28.95. Plus, get a $10 gift card after mail-in rebate. Stop by O'Reilly Auto Parts today or visit O'ReillyAuto.com.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Have you experienced foot or ankle pain during or after sports, running, or exercising at the gym? Nagging aches in your foot or ankle that won't go away? Podiatric physicians can provide you with important foot care solutions, shoe inserts, or show you how to support your feet and ankles so you're able to compete or exercise comfortably. Ohio Foot and Ankle Medical Association podiatric physicians are located throughout the state and have been serving the profession and the public for over 100 years. To find a member of the Ohio Foot and Ankle Medical Association near you, visit associationsadvanceohio.com.
Tired of deciding what to cook tonight? Frickers is ready when you are with everyone's favorite ribs and frickin' chicken chunks. Tender baby back ribs and frickin' chicken chunks, only $12.99 dine-in only. Take the day off as kids 10 and under eat free every day. And you can relax and let Frickers take care of everything. Baby back ribs, frickin' chicken chunks, and kids eat free at the one place that makes lunch, dinner, or late night easy. The home for fun, food, sports, and spirits, Frickers.
Baby back. Baby back. Homestead Feed and Supply is proud to introduce a new product line straight from Texas. Stock Show Secret Products and Flex Appeal. Make your project look the best. Only available at Homestead Feed and Supply. New Carlisle. Tell them the Colonel sent you.
Hi, this is Eddie Sorrell, Service Manager, Germain Honda of Beaver Creek. When you need service, we're here Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursdays from 6 to 8 and Saturdays from 7 to 5. We proudly offer a state-of-the-art facility with factory-trained technicians, clean waiting room, and service department. Loaner cars are available during service and free alignment checks with any service. Be sure to stop in and ask for our $39.95 oil change special. Germain Honda of Beaver Creek, State Route 35, east of 675, between Xenia and Beaver Creek.
Hey, here to tell you about my friends at Cordell Transportation. They're now hiring Class A CDL drivers and offering a $5,000 sign-on bonus. That's right, a $5,000 sign-on bonus. Home daily, dedicated lanes, and no-touch freight. Brand new equipment as well. Medical, dental, vision, and company-paid life insurance. Call Cody right now. Apply online at CordellTransportation.com. Cordell Transportation, driven to succeed.
There's never any FOMO with the iHeartRadio app. You won't ever have to miss out on your favorite shows and contests with this radio station again. Radio 24/7, 365. We're here when you want us. Stay connected and listen anywhere when you download the free iHeartRadio app.
Hi, Pete Kasugi here to tell you that if you're looking for the very best selection of your favorite garden plants, we grow over 125 varieties of tomatoes, peppers, cabbage, broccoli, cucumber, okra, cantaloupe, and eggplants. And if you haven't tried our famous Neighbor Beater tomato plants, come out and pick up a few and enjoy the best taste you ever had from your garden. They taste so good you'll wish you planted more. And remember, Neighbor Beater garden plants are sold only at our garden center at 1309 Brand Pike. So get out that shovel and start digging. It's time for gardens, bedding plants, rose bushes, vines, and ground covers, shade trees and shrubs, bird baths and fountains, and so much more. So join the green revolution and come out and see us at 1309 Brand Pike.
Do you have a home improvement project? Use the right tool for the job and rent from Arts Rental Equipment. Arts has the best selection from power washers and ladders to loaders and dump trailers. Work smart. Rent from Arts.
In a world full of things you never thought possible, here's one more. Now you can get high-quality auto insurance from Allstate at a new low rate. Visit allstate.com or call an agent for a quote today.
You want more local content from Dayton's ESPN radio station 1410 Wing AM? Make sure you subscribe to the WING 1410 Dayton YouTube channel, where you can watch all your local shows live or go back and rewatch previous episodes of the Justin Kinner Show with Kev Nash, the Keith Byers Show, Talking Out Loud with Sully, and more. All sports, all the time. This is 1410 ESPN Radio.
All right, welcome back. Justin Kinner, Kev Nash. Excuse me. Justin Kinner, Kev Nash, back with you here on 1410 ESPN Radio. The Justin Kinner Show with Kev Nash is brought to you by Orion Sports Medicine. Thank you to Bobby Carpenter, former Buckeye, spending a little time with us here earlier this afternoon. So, we all love lists. We already talked about Pro Football Focus's top 50 players in the NFL. 3 Cleveland Browns cracked that top 50. No Cincinnati Bengals on that list. Again, you have Myles Garrett's coming on that list for the Browns. You have Nick Chubb, and then John Johnson, again, the safety they acquired from the Rams. I shouldn't say acquired, that they signed in the offseason as a free agent. And again, there's still a lot of really good players. I mean, the fact that, and OBJ does not deserve to be in that top 50 list. I'm not making that argument, but we know that OBJ, when things are clicking, is a top 25 caliber type wide receiver. So, there's so much talent. You look at that offensive line of the Browns. I mean, my goodness. One thing we're going to do next week is we are going to make an AFC North hybrid team. We can only put together a team using all AFC North players. Kev will make his offense and defense. I will make my offense and defense. We will not collaborate before, and I'm curious where we go with that. And, of course, we'll have other people jump in on the conversation as well. That's something we have on deck for next week, but I am excited about that. NFL coaches on the hot seat. 2 coaches right off the bat that you would consider on the hot seat heading into next year would be who?
Oh, man. Oh, man, you caught me off guard. Mike McCarthy with the Cowboys and John Gruden.
John Gruden.
Well, he owns half the team, don't he?
I mean, and with the guaranteed contract that he has, absolutely.
Yeah, so scratch him from the list. So Mike McCarthy for sure will be one for me. And 2, what's the head coach name of the Denver Broncos?
Hold on. So I can't remember his name off the top of my head. However, he's not on this list, interestingly enough. NFL coaches on the hot seat entering the 2021 season, according to Jason LaConforta with CBSSports.com. He just put up this NFL hot seat list
Vic
heading
Fangio.
in. Fangio, okay. So the NFL coaches, as we reset here again, Justin Kinner, Kev Nash with you here as we close out this part of the show. But the NFL coaches on the hot seat heading into the 2021 season. One name that's first on this list is Matt Nagy with the Chicago Bears. Many thought that probably should have bounced after last season. Look, this guy's, he's made the playoffs recently. They have one of the best defenses in the NFL. They don't have a quarterback. That's not on Matt Nagy. So that's why I'm always confused as to why that's being put on him. But a lot of times it doesn't matter sometimes if it's on the coach, if it's actually the coach's fault or not. They do have Justin Fields. That's why I'm shocked that they are going in with the veteran quarterback, because I thought going in with the rookie quarterback, it would give yourself a little shelf life to be able to use that excuse. But that excuse doesn't exist anymore. In fact, more times than not, the head coach doesn't survive the rookie quarterback start unless they were a part of bringing that coach in to be the guy to lead. That's why Hugh Jackson was out at Cleveland. I mean, a lot of times you see, look what happened in Carolina where they kept resetting it. The Cardinals where they had to keep hitting the reset button there. But Matt Nagy in Chicago, no surprise.
I agree with that because, he was supposed to come in there and fix the offense because, coming from the tree of Andy Reid and everything like that, he's not the reason that defense is lights out. It's just something in the water with the Chicago Bears. Like, they always seem to have a good defense dating back since the 80s and everything like that. But, he was supposed to come there and fix it. But he'll be on the hot seat simply because of how the season went last year with such a roller coaster situation. Obviously, with Justin Fields there now, you got your young quarterback and your veteran quarterback and Andy Dalton. So I'm sure halfway through the season when they're 4-4 or something like that, they'll pull the Andy Dalton out of the lineup and put the young guy in. And then that'll be not only his excuse, but the GM's excuse to say, hey, man, we had the young quarterback. Give us another year. That's going to be the ploy that they play.
And really, regardless of the performance of the quarterback, who was the coach of the Chargers last year that got canned? And Justin Herbert was excellent. Justin Herbert, I don't care. Look, this isn't I hate the Bengals thing. This is just common sense. Justin Herbert and Joe Burrow, two fantastic rookie quarterbacks. Justin Herbert was just way better. Period. There's no doubt about it. Burrow was really good. Herbert was just that and then some. I know Burrow, got hurt, 11 games in the season or whatever it was, and maybe he gets better as the season goes on. But Justin Herbert didn't have any weaknesses, shattered every rookie quarterback record out there. As we wrap this up, so the coaches on the hot seat, according to CBSSports.com, heading into the 2021 season, Matt Nagy with the Bears, Mike McCarthy with the Dallas Cowboys. No surprise there. Cliff Kingsbury with the Cardinals. I think that his name deserves to be on this list mainly because they're expected to take that next big step. The problem is, look, they've given him J.J. Watt. They've given him Hopkins. They have weapons all over the place. They had a pretty solid draft. They got one of the best linebackers in there as well. I like what the Cardinals have, but I think that's why Cliff's on the hot seat is because now you have talent. You should win with this talent. As long as they take a step forward, I think that he'll be in good shape. David Culley with the Texans was an interesting one there just because he just got there.
Goodness gracious.
Now, that says more about the ownership of the Texans more than it does about – look, I don't think he should have been the head coach to begin with. I think this was it was a strange hire to begin with. It caught everyone off guard. I think everyone thought that the Texans were going to hire the offensive coordinator from the Chiefs. His name is blanking me right now for whatever reason. But Eric Bieniemy, but there we are. Vic Fangio is on this list, by the way. Mike Zimmer with the Vikings. So, and then Zach Taylor. Zach Taylor's name is on this list. Mike Zimmer's name is on this list. Zach Taylor, Cincinnati has a lot of issues. He's one of them. I thought he was horrible at making adjustments last year for the Bengals. He did a horrible job protecting Joe Burrow. And you're probably saying, what are you talking about? The offensive line was bad. We talked about it at length this week and in previous months. Zach Taylor did a horrible job of managing the play calling of Joe Burrow. Knowing you have the worst offensive line in football and continuing to drop him back at the clip that he did, he is just as responsible for the injury to Joe Burrow last year as that offensive line. Here's the breakdown of why Zach Taylor's on the hot seat on this CBS Sports article. It says, watching the first overall pick in 19 and the Heisman Trophy winner and national champion Joe Burrow go down midway through the rookie season is the kind of thing that tends to create a visceral reaction among owners. Mike Brown has tended to be very loyal to his coaches throughout the years, but this may not be strong enough to be loyal to Zach Taylor if the Bengals do not succeed in year 3. The AFC North is no joke, and this team has some serious talent issues on the defensive side of the ball that Taylor's offense will have to try to overcome. I disagree with that. You spent $260 million, the majority of that on the defense over the last 2 off seasons. Zach Taylor shouldn't get a pass. Mike Zimmer, I'm glad he's on the hot seat in Minnesota. You're not winning in Minnesota. I think it helps if Aaron Rodgers ends up not playing. But if Mike Zimmer's out in Minnesota, Zach Taylor's out in Cincinnati, I think we see a very easy transition for Mike Zimmer's next coaching job. He will be the next head coach of the Cincinnati Bengals. So that's kind of my prediction as far as that. And Bengals fans should be happy about that. Bengals fans should be happy about that. Zach Taylor should not be the head coach of this team, period.
You get a real grown-up if that actually happens. He's been with the organization before, knows how things are run, and, he may not be winning at the clip that they want him to up there in Minnesota, but they have been to NFC Championship games. They have made runs in the playoffs. And, you can get somebody that can organize things. And you know how I am about head coaches that do the play calling. It's just something about it that I'm just not a big fan of, because I think that head coaches have so much more on their plate than, all right, I'm going to have everything on my plate from between coaching the players, coaching the coaches, and now let me call plays during the game. Like, that's like just so much responsibility on one person. And I'm trying to think on the top of my head, how many guys out here that are head coaches call plays. Zach Taylor's one, Sean Payton's two, Andy Reid is another one. And I know Mike McCarthy used to call plays when he was with Green Bay. So, like, I can really only think about 3 guys that call plays, and one is not like the other two. I'm talking about Andy Reid, Super Bowl champion. We're talking about Sean Payton, Super Bowl champion, and Zach Taylor. Look, man, he probably can draw up great plays and everything like that. But, I just think he's got too much on his plate right now. I think he needs to delegate a lot more and, coach the coaches and coach the players and be more of a CEO role.
And the problem is you can't be 12 and be a CEO. That's the problem. 2 names on this list. Matt LaFleur should not be on this list. Give me a break.
Scapegoat.
The team improved dramatically when he took over for Mike McCarthy. And then Brian Flores from the Dolphins is on this list. They're talking about how a regression for the Dolphins could lead to his exit in Miami. If there's a regression with the Dolphins, it's going to be because they chose to stick with Tua Tagovailoa, who, by the way, I don't blame the Dolphins for drafting Tua. Tua was banged up being drafted. I was all for them drafting Tua. So I think blaming Flores for the regression of the Dolphins, if it happens because of that. I think they've had back-to-back kick-ass drafts. They have a very solid team. They're still missing that quarterback. The difference between them and the Bills is the Bills have a quarterback and the Dolphins don't right now. If Tua takes that step forward, the Dolphins are right there to make that division very competitive, especially with the improvement of the Patriots. We all, when we look at how good Josh Allen was last year for the Bills, the fact that Flores is on that list is more disrespectful than Matt LaFleur, but I think both should not be on that list. That's a damn joke if you ask me. But scapegoat for LaFleur,
yeah,
you were right.
Scapegoat for sure. I mean, everything is going wrong up there in Green Bay, and somebody's going to have to take the brunt of it. And the GM or whatever they call him up in Green Bay ain't going to be like, it's all my fault, I resign.
Season ticket holder number 45 or whatever they call their owner.
So it's like, yeah, I'm not going to take the hit. Coach is going to take the hit. And like you said with the Dolphins, I mean, from every account that I'm reading about, they're putting Tua in the starting position from upper management. This is a general manager thing. Like, hey, man, we spent a big first-round pick on this guy. We want to see him on the field. And the coaching staff was like, hey, man, Fitzmagic is the one winning the games for us. Like, he's a competent quarterback. He knows what he's doing. It's so much that he had to come in there and win games and basically at the reliever position at the quarterback spot for when Tua was actually the starter. So, I think both of those are totally bogus.
Who's not on this list that should be? John Gruden should definitely be on this list. There's 10 million reasons why, 100 million reasons why he's not. John Harbaugh should be on that list. I predicted that they would have moved on from Harbaugh after last season. I thought that what they would do with Lamar Jackson was to go get the offensive coordinator from the Chiefs, who I have now whiffed on his name twice. Eric Bieniemy. I thought that, remember, I had that hot take, that prediction at the beginning. I think that Harbaugh should be on the hot seat heading in to this 2021 season. The reason is because they're good, they're going to win, but you're going to win because you have good players, right? But it's not about that anymore. You have to take a step forward. You have to not just win in the playoffs. You have to get to the AFC title game. You have to beat the Chiefs. You have to beat the Browns. You have to beat the Steelers. You have to beat a lot of really good teams in the AFC. And if it's just another 9-win season for the Ravens and a first-round exit in the playoffs, I think Harbaugh's as good as gone. I know that that's a good team. A lot of these coaches on the hot seat have bad teams. Mm-hmm. He has a good team, and I think that that's what makes his job even more dangerous, similar to Cliff Kingsbury, because you have talent, now you got to win with it. Not that the Cardinals are going to be Super Bowl favorites, but I think that they need to see a step in the right direction for Kingsbury and the Cardinals. Harbaugh should be on that list. Harbaugh should be on that list way before Matt LaFleur. LaFleur should not be there. Flores should not be there. I think John Harbaugh should be there. No doubt about it.
That's fair.
All right, hour 3 coming up next. The Justin Kidder Show with Kev Nash, presented by Orion Sports Medicine.
It's the